And we got the really dangerous beta too, basically out finally. Goddamn, it's almost middle of May, now that I think of it. Nope, time is moving quickly when you're having fun, making things, but yay. Alright then, I might as well get into it. So yeah, open of course, because, you know, it's beta, who cares. And bum. Alright then. Well, let's see. So first things first, I hopefully will have enough cash to actually pick up the fucking fleet carrier. So let's see. Engineers, no. Codex, yeah. Quickly got to check whether or not I even have that stuff. Okay, start. 5 billion and 5.7 billion, but that's, you know, with selling ships. So, oh boy, cutting close. So, let's see, system map. Oh, fun times. There are already plenty of these. Boron, of course. Alrighty then. And they changed the colors of, yeah. Okay, thanks. I don't know why developers decided to change colors for, yeah, for the, what is bookmarks? Like, honestly, what purpose does it serve? Also, why is the picture not changed? God damn it, Elite! Okay. Okay, OBS doesn't seem to want to capture Elite anymore. Great. Alright, we're gonna have to capture the monitor then. Fantastic. Great. Love it.
You can change it slightly, I think. You don't need to just capture the entire window.
Yeah. The window capture doesn't work. The game capture also doesn't work for some reason. Yeah.
Wait, is it you doing a specific window or you just doing full screen?
Let's see. Specific window.
Oh, okay. That's usually fixed there. I don't know what
Any
that's
full
for.
screen. Okay, let's see. Maybe that works.
Yeah.
Nope. Game
Okay.
capture doesn't work. Fucking piece of shit. God damn it. Alright, maybe. No. No, that's hotkey. What? No! Specific window, yes. Select Elite. Match window. Yes. And. Yep. They did something to Elite. I don't know, I gotta ask Exigius whether or not it's the same issue with him, but for now you're gonna have to see me constantly do this. To Alt Tab and whatnot else, so fun times. Okay, oh screw it. Doesn't matter.
Wait, is
Fuck
this
it,
the
dude.
beta?
At least this is not as bad as fucking Star Citizen that completely changes colors if you use game capture on OBS, which is weird.
Maybe. I don't know. Is this the beta? I assume.
Yeah, this is beta. Normal game, of course, works with game capture as expected and whatnot else, so it should be okay. Hey, one of those technical things. Yeah, one of those technical things. Screw it. Well, anyways, I got coffee. It's time to just get my ass to wherever and whatever, and we'll see what's what. Let's see. Did I reset my settings? Let's see. First things first. Is my camera okay? Yes. Okay, we got all the settings properly back. Good. For now. Alright, come on. Move. Slam, what did you miss? Well, as a matter of fact, not too much, as I basically am traveling my ass back to Jameson Memorial and about to start selling my ships and everything in order to actually get the fucking 2 billion. 5 billion. And that's really the only thing that I'm gonna get, kinda. Now, technically, if I get the fleet carrier, I can infinitely generate cash through 2 different accounts, because, you know, every time you just clear save on beta, you get 300 million plus some, I think, materials and whatnot else. So yeah, with a fresh account on beta for testing purposes, but we'll see. All right, carrying on. Also, for some reason, wow, what the hell? Even though it shows, you can see 90 frames a second, but what are these frame times? What the hell? Okay. If anyone else is in beta, are you experiencing the same thing? Cause I'm seeing frame stutters, even though the frame rate is up. So that means the frame times are weirdly off.
Oh great, mine's gonna go.
Okay, now it's okay. What the hell? Ugh. Oh, there we go. Let's see, beginning May 22nd, beta 2 will enter the blowout. Ah, I see, gotcha. Alright, well, there you go. The worst case scenario, yeah, that's gonna happen. But no, I'm gonna at least try and get that cash, whatnot else. There are easy ways to transfer credits from player to player these days, and actually, for the last beta, I had a wonderful helper who wanted to kind of stay anonymous, so I guess there you go. But wonderful helper who, you know, transferred credits, at least enough for the carrier itself. So that was absolutely awesome. And here's to you, friendo. Yes.
Wait, May 22nd, they're doing the blowout.
Yeah, the May 22nd fleet carriers are, you know, available for everyone to pick up and whatnot else. So yeah, I assume that's gonna be the last stress test and whatnot else. And fair enough, I guess. But
Nice of them to remember my birthday.
Maybe? Who knows? Actually, not to think of it. Let's see. Right, so let me pick up. Right, this is important.
It's nice of them to remember my birthday.
Where is the fleet carrier change? Give me a moment. There are details. So let me just. Where's the goddamn stupid beta patch notes? There we go. Those are the patch notes. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna go over these things. So just give me a moment. First things first, need to make sure that I have enough cash to pick up the fucking fleet carrier, and let's do that first and foremost. Alrighty then. Scots, greetings from Bangkok. Well, hello to you as well, and everyone else who's joining in for today's little stream and whatnot else. And yeah, beta 2 is here, so all but the Xbox peasants are able to join. Yeah, apparently Xbox is having a hard time, you know, doing things, so kinda sucks, but what can you do? Best way to AI, gods. Ew, ow, that hurt. Ow! You dick! Watch where you're fucking flying, man. Some players. Alright. Oh, god. Fuck! No! I forgot to ask for landing. God damn it. Why? Why? Why do I do this to myself? Okay, this. I'm gonna die. Yeah, I'm died. So there goes a couple of million already. Fuck.
Maybe not open play?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna spawn back. Oh no.
You're gonna spawn back at your station, aren't you?
I'm sent to jail. Fuck yeah. God damn it.
How far is jail from Jameson?
Yeah, it's a couple of jumps, but god damn it. Oh, this is just stupid. Oh, this is what you get for basically rushing things and not paying attention, not giving. I mean, it is beta, so yeah. How much did I lose? 20 million. Fuck me. I mean, I still have about 700 million on top, technically, but ships lose about, what was it, 10% of what else from selling them. So, we'll see. I'm constantly having these frame stutters. What the hell? This is weird.
Any settings maybe turned on Axon?
Not sure. Well, in any case. Woohoo. Off we go. Let's go back. Okay. Oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi.
Just a repeat of the mining fest.
Except
Except this time it's TheYamiks trying to buy a fleet carrier.
Ah, I see. Yeah. Well, actually, kind of. Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. Oh well. Oh well. Next time I'm gonna organize something like that, I'm gonna definitely do that in private group. For obvious reasons,
Whatever do you mean?
I wonder why.
What could possibly go wrong?
Right. Yeah.
And here we see how Yamiks lands his ships.
Don't judge me, man. I land professionally. I have many years experience.
Is that what professionally looks like?
Yes. Very much so, yes.
You don't ask for docking permission, you just announce that you're landing in the... Yep.
Flight control never likes that.
Exactly, yes.
Who needs permission anyways?
5 billion is still a hefty price. Well, again, if developers want to put in a massive credit sink, basically a place where people can sink in their massive billions upon billions of credits, okay, fair game. You can make that massive trophy, whatnot else, and, it not have a penalty system on it. It'll be fine, At least you get something for it and you don't lose it after just not playing the fucking thing. But no, Elite still has upkeep, or rather the fleet carriers will still have the upkeep, which means, hey, you don't play for a year or whatnot else, bye at least 500 million or so. No, 300 million for for going in debt, and whatever else is left from static decommissioning, right? So it's just why? Just why? Why do you want to take the toys away from people who have played your game for such a long time to even afford those goddamn toys? Why are you mean? Frontier? Meh. How much is upkeep? As a matter of fact, there is statistics as well, and I'll have that data showcased on in a little bit. So yeah, just give it time. Right. Right. Come on, move. There we go. Actually, is my OBS doing a thing? Let's see. No, it doesn't have VSync on, so oh well. This is what you get when you overclock your monitor and try to stream. You are defaulting back to the 60 frames.
How the fuck did you overclock your fucking monitor? What the fuck?
Easy. Well, at least it's easy on the NVIDIA's graphics cards, because NVIDIA offers that sort of a feature already in its control panel. But yeah, if you're not afraid of just burning out your monitor, even though I'm technically overclocked on my oldest monitor, which still works just fine. Yeah, it lessens its lifespan eventually, but realistically speaking, monitors tend to burn out anyway, so why not in a way?
But
Not
you're
guaranteed to
using
get
the easiest-
good amount of extra frames, but well, some monitors can go really high. Like, you know, mine, which is designed for 144 hertz in the first place, but well, because I don't have the proper cables or ports rather on the graphics card, I can't use the correct port for the 144. So I use the, you know, HDMI and basically bullshit. Is the beta live? Yes, indeed. It's alive for PC and PS4. Not for Xbox, unfortunately. Now, first things first. Ask for permission to dock. There we go. It's kind of important there.
You're not using the easiest method to overclock your monitor, though. You just grab your watch and tape it to the top of the monitor.
Oh, fuck.
Ha 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 ha
Oh,
ha.
ha ha. Oh,
That's the good one.
God, it's the good old jokes, yeah. I'm cringing
It's gonna be a Rolex
internally.
too.
Oh no, I've just got a Casio.
And you got another fine, good damn it.
Nah, it's just people bumping into my big ass. God damn it.
I think
Well, maybe you should tuck it in.
What? Tuck in my ass? What? No. It's not like, you know, a slice of ham that you can just literally slice off, you know? And keep slicing. It's just, it doesn't quite work like it hurts. How many hours do I have in Elite? Well, in this account, I do have about 2,500. Let me actually. I fly good. Don't judge me. Let's see. How many hours do I have? There we go. Approximate time played. So 15 weeks. So 16 weeks would be 2,000 hours. So yeah, technically on this account it would be. Huh. No. 6 weeks. 6 weeks are almost actually a little bit more than 1,000 hours, and then yeah, 15 weeks. That'd be over 2,500 hours, give or take.
Yeah,
So there you go.
2,700.
Yeah, so give or take. There we go. So that's the playtime. Right, time to sell ships. Woohoo! Oh, fun.
It's so
Right.
sad seeing that trading profit against your credit balance.
Yeah. Alright, let's see. Just sell everything. Doesn't matter what it is. Literally, this is a bait anyway, so blech. My combat python as well goes bye-bye. My most expensive ships go first until I get to 5 billion. Eventually. That includes... Actually, the only ship that I'm gonna be keeping, just in case, is Diamondback Explorer, since it is the... well... jumping ship, kind of, so yeah. Alright, let's see, is the Cutter Demolition Derby back today? No, it's not exactly that sort of thing, so, right, outfitting. No, not outfitting, no, shipyard, there we go. Right, sell the most expensive ships, come on. Alright, I need a little bit and I'll have enough for fleet carrier now then.
Isn't the fleet carrier only 1 million?
It's gonna
only
be
the
at the
last
end of the
part.
beta. Yeah, it's gonna be
Okay.
at the last portion of the beta, basically last week of it. So there you go.
Someone said it was the 22nd?
It's gonna be
Yep.
22nd. Well, starting from 22nd. So yeah, there you go. So how's beta so far? Selling my whole line of ships and whatnot else in order to get 5 billion. Oh god, so there goes 5 billion. That's all I need. That's all I ever need, and that's gonna be okay. Actually, I don't need this Python either. Fuck this Python.
I love how Frontier said specifically in its notes that for the last portion of the beta, they want to see as many people as possible using fleet carriers, just
Oh,
to,
the thing that you should have done
and
on the
yet,
PC in the first place.
yeah, no,
Herpaderp.
I was going to say, and yet they still charge 1 million credits for it, and it's like, why not just give it to people for free if you want as many?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, okay, you can excuse it with the fact that if you clear your save, right, in beta, and remake your account, basically clear your save and remake it, right, you get 300 million and a normal sidewinder, right? Yeah, you can still afford it and you have leftovers a lot, but it's still what? Why 1 million, right? Why not free? Literally.
Yeah.
It's just well, whatever. Right, so where was fleet carrier stationed? Oh gods. Does anyone remember exactly where they were?
Is there a filter?
Actually, good question. Fleet carrier markers. No. Starter zone. No. Let's see. Is there a way to siphon these things?
Did they say anything
carriers?
about the cost
No, wait.
of
Carrier
upgrading?
presence. Ah, fuck it. Carrier present. Fuck it. That'll do. Let's go with carrier presence. Probably one of these places will have the fucking carrier selling point that I remember. No.
Make sure to keep your population off.
Yeah. God damn it, I remember that one place. Oh, what was it called? No, LT, no. For the love of gods. At least one. Let's see. Chats, any help? God damn it. And this is the stupidest, most retarded fucking thing about fleet carriers when they first were placed in the first beta, right? Developers say that, oh, you need to go and discover where they are sold yourselves. And then...
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So don't give us the tools to play your own game. We'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Okay, so here's the thing. There are reasonable times and places when you need to have... you know, shrouded information and whatnot else. There are places and times when you have to do that. It's certainly not one of these, especially on beta, for fuck's sakes. God damn it. Let's see. Wasn't the closest fleet carrier selling point in the keg? Ah, there we go. Yes. There. Thank you.
I think they could even like justify it with law, even. Like you would think that'd be common knowledge for everybody.
Hmm. There we go, you're right. I was looking for, I think it was either Epsilon Indy or something else. I don't remember. No, Epsilon Indy is different. No. Agatha. There we go. That's what I was looking for some reason. Agatha, but I couldn't recall the name properly. So, fuck me, basically. Well, whatever. Right, let's carry on then, shall we? So, thank you, Dragon. Go there. Yes. Oh, righty then.
Did they say anything about how much the upkeep would be when they sell the fleet carriers for 1 million?
I'm gonna have that information displayed once I pick up the fucking thing, so don't worry. Colonian, no. I'm not gonna spend 7 hours traveling there, okay? Not that desperate. I'd much rather go play Beat Saber right now and stream that. You know? Actually, now that I think we probably should one of these days, you know, try and make a setup like that so you can spam me with either interesting music or troll music. Oh god, now that I think that'd be pretty horrible.
That could actually be fun.
Oh god. Well, I'll see what I can do, right? So that'll be the most content ID marked video, well, the stream ever, which I usually try not to have, right? That's why I usually have relatively repetitive music. Oh well.
You could have custom music.
Yes, I do, kind of. But music's not cheap, you see. There are
Yeah.
wonderful people like Miguel Johnson and Tom Cook who, you know, give some creators, if not, you know, many others or whatnot else, audio for basically use and whatnot else, which are awesome. And as a matter of fact, the jingles that, at least on the stream, you often hear when somebody is extremely generous, you know, I think it was 10 euros, yes, or more, for tips and whatnot else. That jingle is made by the one and only Tom Cook. Check him out on SoundCloud. He's awesome. He has definitely awesome music there too. Some parody, some real. As a matter of fact, I actually did a let's see, from Distant Worlds too. There was a montage that I did with his music. So yeah, there you go. So Tom Cook. Actually, you know, I'm just gonna hold on. Tom Cook sound out. There you go. Tom Cook, Tokoso. There you go. That picture is not representative of the real person, but no, seriously though, he has plenty of wonderful music there. So I might as well just copy paste and just give you that thing. So he gets a little shout out and whatnot else, because again, he has provided me with plenty of music and whatnot else. I think there should be even a piece of music with my name on it somewhere. See, Paroxym got a little. There we go. A little bit of music that he has given me and whatnot else. So there you go. So yeah, awesome. As for the rest of the information, again, I'm gonna go over it once I pick up, you know, Fleet Cat. God damn it, I missed it. Fuck.
Flop the horsey folk mix.
So yeah, there you go. Jump Together, yes. Tom Cook made the Jump Together music. Personally, not my favorite. The one that I chose for my montage was my favorite, but there you go. And greetings, I'm playing X4. Time to horsefuck those aliens and do genocide. Jesus, that sounds like something from Stellaris rather than from X4. But okay. I guess you do you. I don't know. And Grazer, hello to you as well. Let's see, can you jump to a distant system with a carrier with other commanders docked, essentially leaving them stranded in the black? Yes. And considering that the last place you know, dock is the place you actually you can make people go stranded. Because, you know, 500 light year jump allows you to jump even beyond of jumponium accelerated jumps, right? And neutron boosts, right? You could actually go above or below or further away from the center, whatnot else, of the galaxy, and essentially strand people there, with fleet carrier still being present, because the last place you dock when you're in deep space, yeah, that'd be also the spawn, and technically the fleet carrier should be your spawn. So that's interesting too. Fun times, isn't it?
Didn't they say you
That's
can't spawn on the
terrifying.
fleet carrier?
What now?
Didn't they say you couldn't spawn on the carrier?
Ah, that was an unintended bug and issue from the last beta. I think they fixed it, not fully or something like that, but yeah, it's intended that you can, or rather would, spawn back at your fleet carrier or a fleet carrier that you docked in last, if the, you know, things are proper, right? So yeah, it was just a, you know, thing that they fixed. So credits where credits due, you know, things happen and whatnot else, but am I the only one who thinks that these betas are still inept? Because here's the thing,
No.
they had this whole fucking time, these 2 years or more, to develop fleet carriers, and even on beta they are still broken that easily? Am I the only one who thinks that that's kind of basically careless? I don't
Not at
know.
all.
I would have expected a bit more quality from, or rather just fixed shit, since you have literally marinated this fucking feature for so long. Now, well.
Or is that dev?
Makes me think of Origin's
Okay, fleet carrier name time, folks. Write down your currently best idea for fleet carrier. I mean, I can make a homage for the time being. I'm just gonna make a homage
Tamagotchi.
for. Oh
Giant horse
God! Tamagotchi, god damn. Right. While everyone's writing, I'm just gonna write.
Yummy.
Hold on.
The struggle bus.
Horse smoothie dispenser.
Donkey Wallaby. Bang bang.
The D.
SS
There we
Pocket
go.
Rock.
Oh god, there are some amazing names now. I was drinking coffee, damn it, Nitro. Dildos. Oh, God. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Oh, there are some other good names. So I'm just gonna let that go for a little while, but right. So I'll start with the Twitch side, because usually Twitch is kind of being left alone most of the time. So let's go. Amazing horse, cash cow, midlife crisis. Actually, that was a good name for. No, that was exactly the name that I used for Mamba. So yeah. Red rum again, Mamba. Massive pretzel. Okay. Shergar, no idea what that is. Bend over. Oh yes. Space Barn and Knob Jockey. What else we got?
Donkey Dong.
Upkeep never got me. Okay. The oh god why? Numb
Bad
nuts.
dragon deliveries.
All right, and let's see what other wonderful names we got. Oh Jesus. Targoid Lives Matter. Xbox, right? Xbox is actually not working right now. You need to keep up with developer, information and whatnot else. But yeah, Xbox is gonna have to wait because I don't know, reason X, Y, and Z. Literally, developers, I assume, are working on making sure that Xbox people can, get in beta as well. But for the current time being, as far as we know, it's not possible due to technical issues. Sorry. Yeah. Why am I apologizing for Frontier? That's their problem, not mine. There we go. Let's see what else we got. So Shithole, Ymir, Dead Horse Upkeep, Dead Horse, Struggle Bus is a good one. Yamiks, this is why people quit Elite. Its development is even slower than more worthless than Star Citizen. Have you seen Star Citizen? The thing is, you throw stones at Elite and whatnot else, but I mean, come the fuck on. They still haven't released a fucking game.
Yeah.
Hey, Dig, nice to see you. So what's up?
What's going on, my dude? How you doing?
Reading through the wonderful names that people are suggesting for the fleet carrier. Care to give your take on what would be my fleet carrier called?
The non-elite fleet carrier. How about that one?
Hey!
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one.
What other options we have? We have from my personal currently favorite is Dildozer. Penis one, of course, you know, you have to.
Why does that sound like a little kid?
USS Tragic Fail, okay. The Void Keeper. Oh, Caesar! Void Keeper. This is a reference to my Planet Side 2 outfit. Actually, I'm kind of tempted to use that. But anyways, I hope that is at least. But anyways, Spank Bank. Oh God! Corona Carrier. Okay, new era
God.
seems promising. There's not enough space for that amount. So remember, let's see how many letters we have. I think we have 20 Yeah, we have about 20 letters worth of thing. Uses house dong or horse dong. Okay, organ grinder. Okay. What else we got? Not worth it. That's a good one. Yes. SS pocket rocket. Uses shit stain. Shit stain. There we go. Sorry. I read well. Waste of time. Yeah, kinda. Buyer's remorse. Hey, vocal. Yes, that sounds cocked. Of course. What else we got? Wonky funky. Okay. Fleet MC carrier or MC fleet carrier.
How about 2 in the pink, 1 in the credit sink?
Too long. Unfortunately, that's a bit too long. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Easy through, my friend.
Yeah. Horse box, credit vacuum, glue factory. Oh God. Oh, we're getting quite dark. Vanu lubrication depot. Okay, another reference from Plantside Times. So here's a little story, right? Back in the day, developers did offer everyone to, basically submit their sort of ideas for a base name that they wanted to, give us an option essentially to name a base somewhere, right? And we creators at the time basically came together and decided we need a Vanu lubrication depot. But developers just didn't like that for some reason, mostly because, it was me asking that and one other person who weren't exactly the most positive about the product, as in Planetside in general, critics essentially. They went with a different name. But yeah, Vanu Lubrication Depot is a good one as well. MasterCard. Let's see. The beef substitute.
Oh, I know
meat.
you was live.
Oh, yeah, I am. We are in the live room. Come on, Dig.
Oh, snap.
Epic fail. Spaceball 1. Hey, that's a decent one. A gold shitter. Maybe. USS 01. FBI surveillance. Surveillance man. Yamiks is furry. Okay. Now the thing is, if you want
One of us.
see, no, if you write Yamiks, you have to have apostrophe after the first S, and you don't need an S after that, right? At least that's how I would write the possessive in English. But as for furry, I don't really see the reference, but okay, whatever. Anyways, Trump Space Force. No, who had the Space Force? Which president had it? Was it Nixon? No,
was
it wasn't.
Trump.
Space Force is
That's
Trump.
Was
The
it?
Space Force is new.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
it was.
Is.
Oh, there was the Star Wars program that was possessed.
Oh, that was Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, that was
Are
the
we
Reagan's
talking
one,
about-
right? There we go. Fucking America, man. Hey, at least something, eh? But yeah, the Outer Rim job. Oh God!
Oh God.
You know what? Okay, fine. At this point, I haven't laughed at anything else as much as Dildozer. There we go, Dildozer. It's probably gonna be, censored, but screw it. Dildozer it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the great and one and only Dildozer is create. Fucking hell.
You should have named it X-Ash A12.
SS Foreskin. USS less power than a Voyager. Chitty Chatty Bang Bang and Ford Gremlin combined. Oh, God. Oh, no! If you're talking about cars, Fiat Multipla 2. If any of you don't know what Fiat actually, you know,
Oh boy.
No, I need to show this. Fiat Multipla, hold on.
Why are people always hating on the Multipla?
It's a piece of look at this garbage.
Like, why?
Hold on. This,
Wait, I have to see this.
this piece, this. How can you call this good?
Oh, it's a kind of car.
What the fuck
piece
is
of
this?
I remember
This-
that from
just-
top tier.
Explain. What do you
Oh my god.
It looks like a squishy bottlenose dolphin. Like the bottlenose dolphins, they have this rich.
Ew.
It's
also.
so fucking
You have
ugly.
to
I just want to
take this
kill
in.
it.
What is that thing?
Whoa.
Oh, just no.
looks like
Okay,
an
just
old
no.
Oh my god.
Whatever Elon Musk called his kid.
Just
It's
no.
X-Ash A12.
Holy crap. This is
His
ugly.
kid's name is X-Ash A12.
Hmm.
It's
All right.
actually Sean
Right.
Jay.
You have to take the name.
So yeah, before I get to, I actually might as well go into my fleet carrier thingamajig first, and then go basically on about details of the change about it. Oh boy. So Dig, actually, you as the more or less outside person right now, when was the last time you logged in Elite?
Oh, I logged in the last beta just to see if I melted everything I had, would it equal $5 billion? So that was, just for that
right.
second, that was the last time, yeah.
So, anyways, I haven't actually, poked you about the fleet carrier. So,
Hey man,
what
you
are
don't
your
poke me,
thoughts?
sir. There's no poking me.
Again, I make videos. I barely ever have time to respond on things. Again, I literally woke up and released a video, and now I'm basically streaming. So, but anyways, your thoughts on fleet carriers in relatively short way, if you can.
I mean, to be honest, I don't really have much to say about fleet carriers that hasn't been already been said. I mean, now they're a bit more useful. Folks can jump to their heart's content faster than it looked like they could at the beginning. I think that a lot of people knew that they were, you know how you go high, you start high and then you meet people in the middle. I think that's what they was doing. You know, they was gonna start with a ridiculous amount of things that nobody was gonna want, and then that was gonna get torn down, and that's where fleet carriers is at. And I think that's about all I got to say about it.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, it's a very close estimate to what a lot of people actually had on maybe a little bit more suspicious side as well. They specifically made prices outrageous so that the blow would be less hard now and what it does, but I never
It certainly
really
looks better on paper when they say, "Oh, we decreased the cost,
Yeah,
we
90%
increased the jump range, we
slashing and,
increased."
Yeah, so it looks like they gave a lot, but it's more like Yamik said, where they're kind of punishing you. They're still punishing you for not playing.
And that's not the thing
hilarious.
is, right? I was actually doing a little quote-unquote debate, if you will, with. Did I miss my thing? Yeah, I was doing one little sort of a talk with Kaizen a few days ago, and essentially he presented a really decent sort of argument that, okay, fine, without a penalty or some sort of penalizing side of the feature, it kind of loses its purpose and whatnot else. Which honestly, I don't think so. But well. it depends how you perceive the game and what else, which is fair enough. If you really need a penalty side of a ship or a feature, like with, you know, normal ships, you have a rebuy cost for basically when you fail to use the ship properly and you die, right? You get penalty in credit-wise, so you have to have some sort of a penalty system on fleet carriers in that sort of idea as well. Well, at least what developers seem to have an idea that it has to have it. I personally don't think it has to have. I much rather have a purely positive thing, and fine, if it makes fleet carriers stale and uniform and monotone, okay, fine, whatever. Again, I don't particularly care anyways. So, but still, if you have to have some sort of penalty system on fleet carriers, an offline ticking clock is something I don't really need nor want. And, oh no, okay.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Because, I mean, you don't want to have the monkey on your shoulder like, dude, you have to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's a chore.
Even if you can, you know, put in billions upon billions and, you know, have it basically secured for years on end, it still sits on your shoulder saying that every week I'm gonna take from that big pot anyways, you know, and your brain remembers these things. It's just so
did they take away the you know how it starts to become less you know, you get less money back.
Depreciation. That's they removed.
Did they change that?
They removed all sunk cost, but
that's good, then.
almost all sunk cost is taken out. The only thing that is left is essentially static, or well, I think it was static amount that you lose for decommissioning it willingly. Oh, come on. Oh, great,
I think the fixed fee is
I still think that
25 million.
decommissioning it willingly should not warrant a fee, because if you want a way out of the trap that is the fleet carriers, you know, you should at least be able to sell the fleet carrier for its face value.
Well, it sounds like it's close, right? It's pretty close to face value, or am I wrong?
You still get a
on that?
loss.
You do
You
still
still
have
take
a
a
loss,
little
but
bit of L.
But if you
What
go
is gonna
by,
happen?
okay, if we compare, you know, fleet carrier to a normal ship and how normal ships operate, right? You also lose some cash for selling, for selling those ships, right? You lose about 10% or so from the ship's price. So, you know, that kind of prevents you from buying and selling it constantly. And honestly, I don't have any issues with, you know, a little sort of a nudge, if you will, not to constantly do that action, right? Or a way to sort of prevent potentially unforeseen issues, you know, with basically buying and selling something constantly. Though, on the other hand, with modules in Elite Dangerous, you can buy modules and sell them. You're gonna get, you know, 100% back, regardless, right? So you don't get penalized for selling and buying modules, which is kind of understandable because you swap those things constantly out, right? And that does make sense, but those things alone show that, you know, because we swap these things so often, you know, there aren't issues, there are no issues, you know, what else that we personally see off left and right. So technically, losing ship price as well is kind of kind of a relic of old times, maybe. I don't know.
So, what are the biggest negatives for it right now? Because it seems like they fixed quite a few things.
Right. Oh God.
What is there left to say bad about it, if anything?
Fleet carriers. There are still some issues, and one of them is basically learning, or rather asking, what really is its kind of aim? What is its designed purpose, right? Sure, you can say that I have my own, you know, purpose, and I know what I'm gonna use it for. I'm looking at the developer and, you know, asking, what did you design it to do? And usually developer answer is just, you can use it for whatever. It has these things, and try to confuse you and just, I'm asking directly developers, right? What purpose do you see fleet carriers having in Elite, right? What does it actually do, as in a grand scheme of things, what its purpose and what its meaning is, right? Because when you introduce something like a Mamba, right? You know it's a ship. You can use it for whatever you want, just like a fleet carrier. But for a Mamba, you clearly have developers say that, well, it's basically like a Fer-de-Lance, and it's more for combat, right? So it's designed for combat. You can feel that it's designed for combat, and even without asking developers, you can feel that it is for that purpose. Sure, you can use it for whatever you want, clearly, but that's the thing about the question to developers: why did you design it and what it's for? Tell us what you designed it for, and let's see where we can use it. Personally, I can tell you right now, fleet carriers probably gonna be the biggest thing for emerging gameplay, right? Gameplay that players make for themselves or between each other, right? And yeah, for that purpose, if developers actually went out and said that, it's there for that purpose, to give you tools to essentially make your own gameplay between yourselves, okay, I would accept that and I would understand. But then, on the other hand, I would ask, do we need a renting system for emerging gameplay, i.e. the upkeep? Really? It doesn't I don't want to rent emerging gameplay. Right? That's my point, right? And then okay, but issues, right? So upkeep is the biggest one for me, really. I'm of a strong belief that I much rather have a massive end game trophy. Fuck it. It does, it has its potential and it has a power, whatnot else. And if you remove upkeep, it's purely positive and whatnot else. And so what? You got 5 billion. You've proven that you've played Elite for 500 or more hours. At this point, you deserve a massive fucking toy.
I love that.
What other games do you play for that fucking long, right?
Yeah. I don't know. The idea of a big trophy that requires maintenance.
Well, that's the thing with upkeep. That's why I say I don't want upkeep, because at this point the person who can afford fleet carrier already has spent such a long time. Just give him that. Really, just give him that. Give him that massive trophy and let him do whatever he wants with it. Realistically speaking, there's no inner market in Elite anyways. You can't screw with that. The fleet carriers are designed not to interfere with power play or BGS anyways. At least not much, right? So really, there's already considerable effort apparently been put in place to prevent those things. So it's just give him that. Your player has already spent so many hours. Just why do you need to penalize them? That's the point.
Well, you know why. You know why.
They need to penalize you because they're Frontier.
No, it's kind of like saying, oh, Bethesda does Bethesda things. No, it's incompetence within the company that is causing the issues. Because thing is, every developer, every team, every person, as a matter of fact, can do good and can do bad. What I do is call out the stupidity.
Hey man, hold on. Check out what John Doe said, and that's a good question to go at.
Let's see. Oh gods, where was it? Where was it? Ah, John Doe, right. So, why should end gamers be rewarded in a manner which destroys the gameplay for others? Right, that's a good question, Russ. It would be a way that would destroy the gameplay indeed. And that's the thing, isn't it? Right, on one hand, yes, the fleet carrier offers the player who has control of it to do slightly better than the person who's just started, or even person that simply can't afford it yet. I'm talking more about exploration, as a matter of fact, but there are other things as well, like markets and whatnot else, and little things, right? Yeah, that is one consideration, but developers have put in place at least some limiters that would prevent, again, BGS interaction and power play interaction, rare goods trade as well. So yeah, I'm not sure how much does it affect it, and Okay.
Isn't it already the case with normal ships, though? Like, bigger ships earn more, get
honestly, that's
do
a good
more.
I mean,
point there
if you've been in the
too.
game, you deserve to be able to reap what you've sown. In
Elite
the
doesn't
case of
really have
rewards.
the, so yeah, you're actually, now that I think of it, you're right. The bigger ships already dominate anyway, so the person with more cash is able to make more cash, or outbeat someone else. So at this point, it's just extra power creep, really.
Yeah, that's why I'm really surprised that you have to constantly pay
Actually-
upkeep for something that they don't want you to have like more effect. It's really strange.
Yeah, you already have like
yeah.
cutters and whatnot else that are far more superior than any other ships out there, right? And
It's a
if you
weird
have
balancing
already
system.
so this is just even further going with the whole tactic. So it wouldn't be really out of the ordinary now that I think of it. It's just the difference between a cutter and, let's say, an Asp Explorer is quite a lot smaller than from a cutter going to a fleet carrier. But
I would say this: the
understand
fleet
the
carrier is
almost
more of
scales
a
with
burden.
cost.
At the end of the day, the fleet carrier is not like, it doesn't mess up anybody else's gameplay. It's more of a burden, with the costs and upkeep
there
and
is
all
that.
that.
There
I
is a
wouldn't
lot
say
of
it's
micromanaging, right? There's a lot of.
Yeah.
First of all, if you want to travel with a fucking fleet carrier, you're gonna have to baby the motherfucking thing every half hour, right? So
Yeah.
that alone is a bitch, right? And the thing is, you can say that without the upkeep, it wouldn't have a price, or it wouldn't have a cost and whatnot else, or it wouldn't have a penalty and whatnot else, but 5 billion, and of course constant fiddle fucking around and micromanaging, that kind of already is a penalty as well. It's just a lot of what has its nonsense. So I don't know. It's again,
it's
I'd much
funny.
rather simply have a massive trophy that maybe does a few things, but just simply takes my cash, rather than
See,
have
that's
a
a-
fucking upkeep. Yeah.
I love I like the trophy thing. I love that. I think that's a great way to look at it as a huge trophy, in-game trophy, because there's not a lot of things for the in-game players going on right now, and if that could be one of them, they should let it be one instead of trying to make it something that might slip out of your palms any second.
If you go on a vacation from a game, that sentence alone was the most disgusting thing. It's just Elite Dangerous.
I had a good laugh.
Taking a fucking vacation from Elite Dangerous, it's just. Are you kidding me right now? Really?
Are you bloody lazy right now? No, you don't.
I
Someone's
know
being-
they want to limit the number they have of them in the game servers. I'm okay with them doing that, but the way they're going about doing that really annoys me. Why don't they just set a timer for a certain amount of time that you are not logged in for, say, 2 months, and then if you don't log in within those 2 months, then it starts a decommission, which takes, say, 2 weeks.
Because
And if
then
you
there's
log
no
in
fear
that
of
time,
loss.
you then have to pay a charge for how it stopped being decommissioned. But if you fail to do that, then it's decommissioned.
Well, if they did that, there's no fear of loss. There's no reason to keep playing, keep logging in.
The fun fact, though, is like with that timer, it would actually be more effective in decommissioning inactive carriers, because right now with upkeep you can simply put like a few billion in the bank account and it will just stay there indefinitely. It's not never gonna be decommissioned anyway.
My buddy, he put it a real good way, and I'm not gonna attempt to quote him, but he said it's a toy for the super rich. They'll throw in the money just like you were just saying, and not have to worry about it. Now, the people that's barely gonna be able to afford it and clambering on, they're the only one that's really gonna have to worry about it getting taken away from them. So,
Well, yeah, you can go as far as to imply basically that fleet carriers are for the super privileged people who, first of all, have the time to play the game and have the patience to grind it out constantly, right? For normal players, myself included, like
well,
for
I don't
the
mean
last
it in that way, though. Let's not say it like that, though. I mean people that are rich in the game with credits, not time and money. But which those things do take effect. But like, I'm talking ballers in the game.
Kalser and I realized that in the non-beta game, we actually have enough credits to buy a carrier and for it to last 2 years before getting decommissioned, which is kind of scary that it almost seems reasonable. But the fact is, it is still just it's taking money away from us and threatens to take the whole thing away as well.
It's again, I've said this time and time again. Upkeep really, even if it was originally intended only as sort of the downside, like the ships rebuy that we have on normal ships, right? To basically be the same sort of purpose feature, right? Even if it was originally designed as such, it also has additional implications, unlike with the ships rebuy. Because with the normal ships rebuy, that is only triggered when you fuck up. With fleet carriers, that constantly triggers when you fuck up or not. So that from that design alone, it's kind of an unfair, really, thing. Because the higher the thing is, the more fucking effort you need to put into it. Okay, but Elite is not really about effort now, is it? It's all about fucking grinding rather than anything else, and really that being the main focus effort really is just not the way to do it, in my opinion. Really, just no.
It's so weird, man. Like, we talk about one thing at a time with Elite Dangerous. Like, you know, it was the mining back in the day. Now it's like, now we got one more thing, the fleet carriers. Like, dude, can we get a few things to talk about at a time? So we're not just like, oh, it's the fleet carriers. Oh, it's mining prices have changed. Like, the news is just so boring, man. I wish there was more to talk about.
Wait until the end of the year, my friend. We'll see some interesting shit fest there.
Year, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And then next year.
Hey, the starports look super different in the beta. Have you noticed that? I'm in a Coriolis right now, and it's way more polished.
Didn't notice
I
any
don't know if
difference
it's just
from
me,
the existing.
or if it's a...
That's interesting. We'll have to check it out.
Okay,
Phoenix. Settings on the beta server.
Actually, in the chats there's a
I might have different graphical settings.
Wonderful quote from Phoenix right there. So the original Elite was all about grind, but how could it be different? Right, here's the thing. Back in the day, old games... See, the old games don't take in account, well, a good practice of both key mapping. As a matter of fact, I absolutely hate the original key mapping for original Elite. I've played it a few times and I absolutely hate it. Right? It well, of course, it's done within, you know, a certain reason. I see the reason why specific things are mapped in a specific way. I see the patterns there, but even so, it's not what we usually are used to with the current state of gaming and the way how the things have evolved. See, over time, we learn how to make better decisions on game design. And grind, back in the day, was essentially one of the ways to fluff and pad out the game. As a matter of fact, these days, often you see games actually use, instead of a grind, a time wall. Like, literally just to put a timer in, right? It's even lazier, right? But grind is another... I would say if the game becomes grindy, it's done for two reasons, and if it's done unintentionally, it's a mark of a bad designer. Because you see, you shouldn't feel the grind. It's obviously a negative thing in a game's design. You should always be engaged, or at least feel engaged, not to feel, you know, the burden of repetitive gameplay or the gameplay itself. The better way is to constantly, you know, have something interesting or differentiating. You know, with Elite Dangerous, you basically end up doing your own thing because there is no direction for the player. And that can be good. See, yes, there are open worlds, and Elite is one of those open world games. But the problem with that sort of premise is also that it comes with its own territory and its issues. See, Elite doesn't have let's switch a little topic there on you know, the interesting sides of Elite, right? Let's see if you actually go out and find, you know, more interesting things. Does Elite even have small side quests that would inform you about its universe? Or do you really just need to go to Wiki and read it? You have a codex, okay, you can listen to that, but that's the thing. And John was actually making a wonderful point there as well, right? So what makes a game interesting? It's quests, it's story, and I think a few other things, right? And Elite really doesn't have those things. It's a constant issue for myself, as a matter of fact, as well. I would love to learn about its universe and, you know, characters within it, and maybe engage in a unique sort of a mission from time to time. It would be nice, even if it is a one-time thing. But Elite doesn't have those. And it has a repetitive, procedurally generated mission board, and that's it. Or, again, these things. So, over time, games change, and better game design choices and designs come to light, right? That's why we don't see games anymore being that grindy anymore. We see even advent of different styles of games, and with driving, let's take driving games, right? There are addition of different features. There are addition of stories and what else. Because back in the day, all you had was just one driving mission after another. These days, with, you know, some Need for Speeds, you know, you have additional story being put on top of it. You have, you know, relatively more engaged portions of it. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Grind, essentially, yeah, it helps pad out the game, but these days it's more negative, you know, than it used to be. But even in back in the day, right? It's just it's lack of variety. Grind is essentially the sign of lack of variety, or massive routine, which is not often good, especially in the current state of you know, games that it is. It can be fun. I mean, look at Warframe. Yeah, it can be fun, but on top of that, you have different things that incentivize you to do, you know, different things. In Elite, really, you don't have that, you know, weekly login, daily login, whatnot else that would incentivize you to go and do these different things. You just find mining to be the most efficient one and you go do it. I personally go PvP when I'm not grinding because I just like, you know, a challenge. I usually lose, you know. I mean, today hasn't been a good example of that, right? I constantly fuck up, right? But I find that challenge interesting. The Targoid fighting is an interesting thing because it is challenging. Even if it gets repetitive, that's why I don't do it that often. But it's still something I like to do, rather than just mindlessly go on a, you know, ring and mine. So it is an issue, right, with Elite in general. It's just the design that has been used on top of it, essentially. It's yeah. Anyways, sorry if I got a little long there. So yeah.
I like that. I've noticed something very awful.
Oh boy.
When you try to open up the system map in a system that has an obscene amount of fleet carriers.
Yes, let's see.
It's not letting me. I'm in Skegiko O, and it's not. My entire game stopped.
Right.
No.
Developers did say one thing about fleet carriers, right? So essentially, they're going to be limiting. I think it was 20. Was it 20, or did I even say how many? Well, anyways, developers will be limiting. Developers will be limiting how many fleet carriers can orbit or be attached to a single celestial body. Honestly, I don't have an issue with that. It's a clear technical issue with the system map, I assume. If it's a further technical issue with the system as well, then okay, fair enough. Putting in even a system limit of, you know, having a certain specific amount of fleet carriers being positioned in one system and no more, or you're not being allowed to jump into that system with, you know, enough fleet carriers. That's all good, right? As long as developers actually communicate and say that, this is a technical thing that we're working to change and improve and what else. But for now, you need to put in a, you know, a limit. If developers came out and said that, it's all good. I can understand that. I expect that, to be honest. But there are ways to fix this. Remember, there are different, smart ways, in fact, to fix these things. So, not being able is just a question of, competence, not time.
And what about systems where you purchase fleet carriers? What happens when those get filled up?
Honestly, what I would do
You spawn in
is...
neighboring systems.
Yeah, I would just send them to neighboring systems. There are plenty of star systems nearby, and trust me, every fleet carrier, or at least with enough limit, you can, host even a single fleet carrier in the whole system. I think the bubble have more systems than players ever joined or ever added to Elite, I think, or joined Elite. Somebody correct me on this fact, but regardless, the point is that you can host a lot of fleet carriers within the bubble alone, let alone the whole galaxy, right? So there's plenty of space. So yeah.
One thing. Hi there, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. So one thing that's still missing is getting an overview of the markets, what the fleet carriers are buying or selling inside the system map. So I'm sitting in Boran from one of our last mining frenzies, have a full hold of LTDs. Now say I want to know which fleet carrier to sell them on. Just from the system map, I can't tell where to go.
Right, so Digdat actually asked what are the negatives of, what are still existing negatives of fleet carriers, and there are a few. And I was, of course, ranting on about upkeep, right? So that is clearly the one that I personally feel to be the most ugly, right? I'll switch to open. But there are additional issues, right? The number one that comes to my mind is not what Dotton said here, but that's another one. But my personally next issue would be having stock in your ship. Essentially, when you have shipyard, when you have outfitting, you basically need to buy bundles of ships. You can't choose a specific ship. You have to buy bundles. And that decision, honestly, I kind of can speculate why technically it's done. I still don't see as a positive thing, and really, why not allow people to just simply use, or rather, pick whatever ships they want to host, rather than have to have a whole bundle of other ships that you don't want to sell, or utilities especially, or modules especially. So that is the biggest issue after upkeep, and right after upkeep, and then bundle selling, what else. Then there comes, as Dotton said, the issue of not being able to, with educated guess, or educated view, sort of predict or expect certain some things, or look up what the fleet carrier has, making them useless. Because let's say you want to trade stuff on your commodity market alone, right? You just bought your fleet carrier, what else, right? And you are selling wonderful stuff for a decent price, but no one's coming to you. Well, why would, you're selling for a good price, why is no one visiting your fleet carrier? You're selling stuff for okay price. But there you go, that's kind of the issue. No one knows because there's no way to know. There's no message you can put out on, system chats even, or galaxy map. You can't look up what each fleet carrier has. I think you could look up whether or not the fleet carrier has specific services installed, so you can only predict whether or not it has fuel, whether or not it has repair, whether it has rearm, whether or not it has shipyard or outfitting. But what ships it's selling, what outfitting it offers, what commodities it sells or buys, you don't know. And this is one of the, actually, in fact, if we are talking about actually having an emerging gameplay being offered, that is the biggest hurdle that must be solved, really. And, well, the only way you can do it is through making all the information, and I mean in-depth information, not just the typical things that we know of off the bat, like let's see, let's go with this fleet carrier or that fleet carrier, right? And information, what does it have? Facilities, right? So what facilities it has. We need to know more than just this. This is literally minimal, right? For fuel stations or for repair stations, yeah, it's all right. For shipyard to, store your own ships and whatnot else, yeah, it's all right. But for commodities, that is actually one of the biggest positives, kind of negative as well, but regardless, for fleet carriers, you just can't examine these things. And why would you go to a fleet carrier if you don't know what it has? Why would you waste your time going from one fleet carrier to another, just manually investigating what each of them have? And every day, these prices and these, modules and then what they sell could change. So you need to update that information somewhere, somehow, and it's just basically game doesn't help you. I'll make a decision on whether or not to go to a place or use something. So
basically, they need to invent a modification to the UI, or just create a new device which you can install on your ship, which is a trading computer which scans all local system information or something like that.
Yeah. Now, this is also a further issue with Elite's design. See, the reason why developers are not, putting in something like Elite database in Elite itself, right, is that they have this design principle that you should go investigate things yourself. You should travel and waste your time discovering, quote unquote, what each station has, what each place has for sell, trades and whatnot else, so that it's a mystery. But let's be honest, this is a future, far distant future, and we have communication in game, be that lore or non-lore wise, doesn't matter. The game has functions, and thus it becomes lore, that we can communicate basically from anyone that is at the center of the galaxy or right next to you, immediately and instantly. So it doesn't make sense that we can't go and look up in the system, what each station sells precisely, right? Whether it has, outfitting properly. And this has honestly been a big issue for a lot of people. But developers always hand wave away this idea that, no, we will not tell you what each system or what each starport has directly. We're going to tell you, details, and we're going to maybe give you some tools. Remember, let's see, the trade date, no, not the trade date, let's see, commodities, right? This particular trading, filter, if you will. Yeah, that's what they call a filter for specific commodity was put in basically last year. Only last year. Until then, you had to go and play by developers' designed rules and go investigate these things. And of course, thanks to thanks to the people who made Elite Database and Hinara and whatnot else, we have a database of information, what each starport has, what each of them do and how or what they sell, with precision, give or take, right? So we always have to use these third-party tools, which developers are insistent oftentimes, adamantly, not to put in. Not that they can't, they're against these things. And that's the issue oftentimes as well, right? At least for me, I personally would absolutely love if developers put in Elite Database or similar fucking thing in Elite and, dispense with the stupid, we're gonna veil this information so that you need to go to these and update that information for you, because and now with the fleet carriers it becomes even more apparent that you need that information in order for them to actually be somewhat useful, or at least offer some sort of a interesting idea, right? Because why wouldn't you literally write in the game's, let's see, trade computer, right? Which place or what cell, basically I'm looking for all the prices in the galaxy about tritium, right? And then there's one guy who decides, I don't need my tritium, I'm gonna sell it for cheap and I have enough stock. I put it up on the Craigslist, the interstellar Craigslist or something like that, right? Why not have that? Because that takes effort to make. Well, hey, you have the most tools, and if the third-party guys can actually make something like that, you have better and more competent people who can make that stuff. Maybe.
So they say they don't want to put in a trade computer type system because they want people to go to the place and explore it.
That is the official statement oftentimes, yes. Not always, but often.
How about a system that has a computer where you have to go to a location and receive an identification code from that station so you can then remotely access its data from then on?
Or,
I don't know.
or even just like, if it would save like hours of players' time if like even just you didn't have to dock at the station, just pull up and say, "Hey, what do you have? I'm out front. Am I going to waste my time docking or not?" That would save loads of time.
Yeah. Am I in open? Yes, I am in open. Right.
Speaking of trading, just looked at the commodity market on my carrier, and it now lists the galactic average price of low temperature diamonds as 57,000 credits.
Oof.
I never trust the galactic average, really. I never do. And the funny thing is, if you have galactic average, right, you can have the galactic average being presented to you, and yet you don't have information about nearby systems, then where are you getting that galactic average? Who's got the ability to make that galactic average? Even by the game's lore, if you try to explain it with the game's lore, where are you getting that galactic average? Right? And why is it not being offered to you as a single thing, right? And just
I just had a horrible thought.
So yeah.
What
anyway,
if the fleet carriers actually cause the local averages to drop because the game sees them as, and somebody puts in an item, puts it at the minimum price that you can actually sell them for, and the game starts taking that as part of the average and therefore lowering the average on everything else?
Yeah. Right. Let's see. We need holo helmets in. We need more helmets in holo. No, we don't need more customization. We don't need more microtransactions. That's it. If they are free, fine. That should be the standard. Right. I suppose we should get into details then. So I could go over basically the changes. Well, not many changes that they implemented, but regardless, might as well go and have a read, right? So developers in their update patch notes said as a reminder, fleet carriers update will be on PC and PlayStation commanders due to unexpected issues with we found in the Xbox version beta. Will be unable to start the Xbox beta today. Yeah, again, as previously stated, poor Xbox peasants unfortunately won't be able to join just yet. Don't worry. I think developers are careful enough to not leave you out, so give them time. So yeah. Anyways, we publish more information, blah 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 blah. Right, so the patch notes. So we have upkeep cost, additional services have been reduced. Who cares? The core running costs have been also. Who cares? The debt threshold has been updated in line with the upkeep changes. This means that all services installed, the carrier can go 10 weeks up to 4 weeks without paying. Blah blah blah. Actually, that's
I'm sorry,
question.
10 weeks up to 4? That doesn't make any sense.
That is because you can, put each module, no, not module, but service as what was the term that they used?
Suspended?
Suspended. There we go. Yeah, you can suspend it indeed. Actually, let me check because I didn't. The fleet carrier manager settings decommission. Okay, so decommissioning right now flat amount would be let's see, 150 million. So 150 would be you know, a flat amount of decommissioning price, which honestly is you know, acceptable. 150 million for decommissioning. You lose. Okay, that's half of debt. Unfortunately, we don't have the debt numbers, right? We don't have the current version of maximum debt incurred numbers. We need to wait until the next server tick. I think it's on Thursday. Yeah, I think it's on Thursday. So on Thursday we're gonna learn, hopefully, what is the new decommissioning or rather debt threshold. But I think they still stuck with 300 million. I mean, it should be, right? Well, again, they talk about decommissioning that whatchamahazard, so I don't know. So yeah, who knows? Honestly, at this point, I don't care. We're gonna talk about the upkeep in just a bit, as you know, this image here from the Reddits is showing what else, so we'll get to that. Let's see, and Devin.
Can we talk about how long it takes to set the price of a commodity on your market? The increments are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's UI. That's great UI. But yeah, anyways, Devin, there, mute your mic if you're, you know, clacking constantly. Thank you, really appreciate it. Right. So, anyways, but yeah, actually, you know what? Might as well show you what. Oh wait, no, I don't have any commodities. But all right, fine. Commodity trading, right? Manage the markets. Essentially, you would. Oh, actually, no, I can still do and showcase you what I mean by that. So let's say you want to buy water. Let's say you want to trade and you want to buy water. How much units do you want to buy? Oh, right. In order. All right, give me a moment. I need to transfer funds, otherwise I won't be able to buy or offer buying stuff. Transfer max. Fuck it, let's go with all the cash that I have.
You know, I sometimes wonder whether they created this UI in such a way that everything requires too much time.
It's enough speculation that I'm not willing to delve into it. Anyways, so let's say you want, you know, units, and this is literally how you know, get all the capacity. This is very slow amount. I mean, it's not actually the slowest, but with arrows it's a little bit faster. It has a ramp up. So basically this one has a little bit of ramp up, but the buy and sell prices are not exactly the easiest. Even with actually they put in ramp up. Holy fuck. Okay, so in beta 1 it didn't have the ramp up speed. Essentially you would slowly go by 1% and it would go very slowly like this, right? And you wouldn't immediately go to 1000 like you saw right now. So they actually fixed it. Or well, not fixed it, but improved it.
A workaround.
No, it's a proper one, so okay.
It's definitely an improvement. I'd still prefer to be able to type it.
Yeah, honestly, why not ability to type? Indeed. I mean, I understand on consoles it can be an but this
consoles have virtual keyboards.
Yeah, there you go. Why not? Right? So
I mean,
you can't
it's
type
not
in
like you
HOTAS.
can't plug in a USB keyboard to a console.
Here's the thing. If you have HOTAS, you clearly have PC. Oh wait, no, you could have also a console, right? On
Yeah,
the point is,
PlayStation
you would
has a
still have
HOTAS.
additional controllers that would allow you to do these things. So, yeah, the only issue would be in VR, but VR is such a fringe thing that, you know, it's not like you can't, you know, pull up your VR headset and then type in if you need that precise thing, right?
Oh
So-
yeah, I can definitely confirm playing in VR when you don't have a keyboard right next to you is
I'm playing
Different.
in VR and I'm also typing, so
It depends on the person.
yeah, but
sometimes
you've
I-
got the keyboard right in front of you. I play where I don't have a keyboard next to me.
guys, may I interject for a second? So this really deserves what I just experienced. Well done, FDev. So I just wanted to dock at a carrier in Boran, which is right into the ring system. I drop into the instance, and the carrier itself, it zooms away at several kilometers per hour. So I'm not mass locked or frame of reference locked to the carrier. So I drop in, and the carrier whooshes away together with the rings, and I'm
Yeah, actually, I had a friend who first started playing Elite. I actually filmed that portion, and he had very similar issues. And Elite has a tendency, from time to time, very rarely though, to basically do that sort of a bug where you are not literally locked to that frame of reference, as Dalton said. So it's kind of weird, but yeah, from time to time it does happen, and apparently with fleet carriers, here you go, it's not exempt. Yay! Though I hadn't had that sort of issue yet, so I don't know. Anyways, the universal cartographics is added, and it costs 150 million. Enjoy! I did expect it to be
Sorry.
cheaper.
150 million.
Yes. I mean, at least that's weekly upkeep is going to be very cheap in comparison to other things that have that sort of a price or similar.
Isn't that like on par with the most expensive ships, apart from the fleet carrier?
I think only the cutter is more expensive. At least
Cutter
it's
is
more
no.
expensive.
Cutter and Corvette are more expensive. It's basically Anaconda. It's slightly less than. Oh wait, no, it's slightly more. I think it's 7 million more than Anaconda. So there you go. So yeah, it's
Big oof.
I can't believe getting a shipyard that other players can access will more than double your upkeep from stock.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Holy shit. Your normal upkeep is 5 million, and having a shipyard on it is gonna be putting it at 11.5 million. Oh, fun times. The percentages just again, I say upkeep doesn't need to exist, but see, some of these values just make you vomit, projectile vomit even.
Suddenly, I see all of the Frontier staff with jester hats on, waving jester sticks.
Oh wow. Right, so returning to the changes, might as well, right? God damn it. Here we go. Oh wait, no.
Because surely some of these prices are jokes.
There we go. Right,
Honestly,
so this is
yeah.
gonna be easier, right? So
I mean, just like that first price that they gave, where what was it, 7 billion a year? 7 was it 7 billion a year?
No idea. Anyways, if you remember, let us know. Anyways, right, so the total upfront activation cost of some of the more expensive services has been reduced by whatever percentage. We're going to talk about the prices in just a bit. Again, as I said, I have the thingamajig, so thank you, Reddit. Let's see, added universal cartographics as an optional service for the fleet carriers, because of course it can't be as default. Fleet carrier owners now can store their ships and modules, which again is a compromise, and a proper compromise as well. It's an okay thing, so I'm never gonna say it's good job, because basically you unfucked yourself, and you again, it's okay now. There you go. When decommissioning a fleet carrier, you will receive full refund. Okay, so this quote is an interesting one, right? When decommissioning a fleet carrier, you'll now receive full refund. Okay, and now the next quote is contrary to exactly that. That phrase. I mean, they shouldn't have. This is misleading. This is so misleading. They just don't know how to write these things properly. Jesus Christ. But anyways, then the next exact fucking thing says, voluntary decommissioning will incur a fee equivalent to 50% of the debt threshold. Okay, yeah, so they
Shouldn't
haven't...
that be involuntary?
No, it's a voluntary one. So
Yeah,
50%
I'm
of the
wondering
debt
whether
threshold.
whether their brains got the word involuntary and voluntary back to front. Because I can understand that involuntary decommissioning would cost more in penalising, but I can't see a voluntary one.
No,
losing
see,
you.
voluntary one is when you want to sell the fucking fleet carrier, you will incur a fixed penalty. If you get the debt, big enough, quote unquote, big enough, or huge debt, as they say, of 300 million, right? Then it's involuntary decommissioning and you lose that debt minus that full refund. So, worst case scenario, you're losing 300 million because you were in debt because of the upkeep, or if you decide to sell it on your own, you lose half of the debt threshold, which is 150 million. And the funny thing is, they will, again, why did they write, decommissioning will now receive full refund, and then proceed with basically saying the complete opposite of the next? Just, why just simply say, we removed depreciation portion of the decommissioning, as well as the distance penalty, right?
Distance,
good on paper.
distance is definitely gone, yeah?
Yeah, distance should be gone according to that particular phrase. Actually, that's a good question. Did they change the player's handbook? Decommission.
Because that
there we
was
go.
really one
They
of my
didn't change
largest
decommissioning.
parts
Here
of
we go. Right. Decommission. This is old. They didn't. I knew they wouldn't change it. They are too lazy to change this portion. So basically, the old decommissioning worked as such. The recoverable percentage of carrier's initial cost is conditional on its length of service. 95% up to 24 hours and down to 33% refund of after 3 months. That was the old depreciation thing that they removed. They just simply didn't remove it from the player's handbook. And the additional, after that, even more stuff will be lost. This value is further reduced by carrier's distance from the nearest construction dock. So this
And
also
that's-
is removed.
that bit there
So
is the
these
bit
two
I
things
hate
are
the most.
removed. So yeah, yeah, I know what they are trying to make, right? They're making the point that these things too are removed, and basically, if you choose to decommission the thing on your own, yeah, you're losing 50% of that debt, which is 300. Half of it is 150. Or if you're forced, or you basically don't pay up, you're losing the full debt. So there you go. That's the only thing that you're gonna lose, not the distance penalty, not the depreciation penalty.
The first person who manages to put the hard numbers on a website is going to have their website crash when see a number of people going to it.
What do you mean? What?
Well, yeah, you can give us the so-called explanations that we see on the patch notes, but they're not giving us hard numbers of what actually it means.
Yes. Yeah, developers are not very keen on explaining exact numbers, ever. Very rarely do we see, proper numbers. Again, they are saying upkeep costs will, for all additional services, will be reduced by 80 to 90%. It's a soft number, It's gonna be threshold. You need to go and investigate itself. Honestly, I look at smaller companies, smaller game developers who take effort. Actually, elite developers themselves, back in the day, put in effort to explain or write down all the numbers that would be changed, especially with engineering back in the day, right? When they changed something in the patches, they did say how much each fucking thing changed, rather than just putting in, we just changed something, go investigate yourselves. I know that this is beta. I get it that this is beta. But does it mean that you have to be lazy? Think on that.
I mean,
Anyways.
especially since it's there to be tested, you would think that they would pay attention to being exact.
Honestly, for me, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you put in these things, come on. These are important things. Clearly, people are interested in numbers, you know, because especially when you change these things so much, you know, I get it that numbers are kind of confusing oftentimes. That's why you can put, you know, this quote, right? The upkeep cost will be for additional services have been reduced to 80 to 90%, you know, and then follow it up on, you know, extra points underneath that and, you know, explain exactly what is being changed and how it's being changed. So, it's just,
God's sake.
it's just,
Frontier, what do you
why are you
expect?
not bothering to tell us this? That's my point. Why are you not bothering to tell us? Are you lazy? Or don't you have the time? Or what's the deal?
Remember
It's
when
just-
engineers first came out? The numbers, they were pretty broken when engineers first
Oh,
came out.
yes.
And I think it's going to take about 2 to 3 updates before the fleet carriers are in a good state of balance. And I say that lightly.
We'll see. And Buff Mage, hey, thanks for the subscribe there on the Twitch side.
I
Really
don't think that
appreciate
will
it.
ever be termed a good state of balance. I'm not even sure
I don't know.
Frontier knows the term balance anymore.
Yeah, fair
The-
enough.
Yeah, I doubt that too. It's just as long as people stop, you know, or rather, as soon as people stop whining and bitching about things, it's good, right? It's basically just like that one famous horse who learned to count, only to discover that the horse was basically able to tell, you know, the correct answer when everyone started applauding. So yeah. And do we really need that comparison here? Anyways, TheYamiks, DAOC has been around for over a decade. That isn't, and that still isn't balanced.
Are we sure the horse that
DAOC.
learned to count wasn't Yamiks in a horse costume?
DAOC. Oh God, I don't remember what that acronym stood for. Jesus Christ, my brain is empty. Help me.
Alright. So let's just throw up an error at me.
Dark Age of Camelot, thank you! Right, yes, there we go. Right, definitely wouldn't have guessed because I never played it. But the thing is, there are plenty of games that are reveling in not being OP, for being OP as fuck or not being balanced and whatnot else. And those oftentimes are PvE games, right? When you have PvP games, unfortunately, the balance is extremely important. I mean, you don't need precision, you know, left and right, but when you have healing beams that can out-heal 6 other similar fucking beam lasers without engineering, then you have a big-ass fucking problem. Just saying, you know, and of course a few other things, right? Anyways, carrying on. Right, so we got, let's see. When canceling decommissioning of your fleet carrier, you'll now receive an inbox message to confirm cancellation. Yes, okay, that's appropriate, and that's a nice little, you know, make sure that it did the thing.
Sensible thing that should have been there from the start.
What?
A sensible thing that should have been there from the start.
The thing is, the confirmation message that something, you know, or the decommissioning is cancelled, honestly, if it works the first time and you can reliably understand that it, you know, worked, it shouldn't be there. But because Elite is what it is, and, you know, I assume it's just a, you know, cautionary measure being put in so that, you know, you kind of understand that it's gone. Oftentimes with programming as well, right? You often have these little confirmation beeps, or you have messages pop up that something is being done to make sure that, you know, something works. Because if a tool works perfectly and you can predict it to always work perfectly, you don't need these confirmations, right? You already know that it does, but not always. And Devin, pokey, mute microphone. Thank you.
Sorry.
It's all
I'm
good.
sorry,
It's all
Yamiks.
good. It's all good. It's all good. Just make sure.
Oh, Yamiks, by the way, big fan.
I would assume. Otherwise, I highly doubt you would be here, and you know, wasn't else. So it's all good.
I also enjoyed your Federal Corvette rant. I also love that one.
Yeah, the most viewed video as of yet. So big thanks to Mini for helping out on that call up. Anyways, carrying on about fleet carriers. Right, so reduce the amount of tritium consumed for each jump. Again, these numbers honestly would be really nice to know. You know, how much does it improve, or what is the percentage? Just things to understand rather than just it's reduced. By how much? Who knows? Thing is, again, we're talking about developers obscuring the actual values. See, in many games, they are designed not to tell these values. They are there to basically give you an impression that, you know, it's just better, right? It's not meant to be examined in a specific way. Oftentimes, you can see this with some RPG games. When you have, you know, story RPGs or third-person hack and slash games, especially hack and slash games. Not all. A lot of them actually revel in having hit points and markers, you know, to basically showcase how much points of damage you do, because that helps you understand what you do and how much health you need to do, right? That allows you to be more precise. And I'm a strong believer in telling your player more information than not telling it. But some games used to, especially old games, used to not tell you basically any information about your weapons or items or what else. And that frustrated the fuck out of me many times. And Elite still has that opinion that you shouldn't tell your players about some information, if not all. And as I was actually talking about just previously in the stream about the same thing about fleet carriers, and why are we not given basically Elite database in game, right? That's the same reason why developers have this idea that you shouldn't tell players about this information. You should have players go investigate these numbers, and it's just no, it's not a. Again, these days, you need to inform your players. Yes, some people will be confused, and the thing is, many games, as a matter of fact, do tell your players, or do tell their players, a lot of information about itself, only when they actually need it, or when they go looking for it, right? Good example... I would even say Warframe in some way, but I'd say more World of Warcraft, actually. Because you see, on the surface level, right, you see maybe damage numbers here and there, but basically you just see basic UI, right? But when you go delving deeper, then you discover, it does that sort of number, and you can investigate even more information about each facet of essentially that particular game. And that's what I'm, talking about. You don't need to, plaster the whole screen with all the information immediately. You just have to put in that information in the game in a easy to find way, or at least easy enough to find way. Warframe never used to, though. That is true. Yeah, I remember playing Warframe back in the day, but it was a very different game back then. So again, Warframe is a good example of how you actually put in more information and let the players understand how it works. They actually also, have information how the elements work together and how they just intermingle if you go looking for that information. And Codex for Elite is perfect for that. But it's not being utilized, unfortunately, on that thing. Warframe is also Canadian. Well, I guess so. So hey, I guess Canadians really like just informing people, I guess. But on serious
the
note,
Codex almost feels like a type once and forget about it type thing.
Yeah, Codex is a nice thing. It can be used for even more good stuff. So again, Codex I perceive purely as a good thing, and never will say anything bad about it. But it's not being basically used to the best of its ability.
Well, I suppose the big question is how much of the Codex is out of date due to updates to the game?
That's a good. That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm reading Heratian, right? So well, we all know that front-end developments love their forum part added to the game. Forum part? Okay, anyways, carrying on. Right, so added a better indication of arriving in the commissioning state states of fleet carriers. Again, okay, fine, fair enough. Fleet carrier services menus now display the name of the owner. All right, fair enough. The trade screen in fleet carrier management now reports the number of imported and exported commodity types separately rather than total for both. Huh. I mean, in the last beta, the trading screens was actually quite broken as well. The trade screen especially was basically, I'm not sure if you can post the same thing buy and sell order, or rather the same commodities buy and sell order. I need to go and pick up a commodity to sell and buy at the same time in order to test whether or not it's still an issue. But in last beta, it was a bug. You couldn't post buy order for, let's say water, and then having, that also being sold, but for, larger or smaller price, whatever you wanted, right? So that's kind of weird. But yeah, that's a bug, and essentially I expect them to change it. And there are bug fixes. There's the CQC, right? So CQC matchmaking from in-game will now require usual delay before exiting the game if you are in danger. So essentially that's preventing from, unpredictable but still a combat logging, I suppose, to CQC. If you didn't know, actually, developers with this update, with the fleet carriers, implemented something only positive, purely positive, that basically everyone liked. And here we go. And that was this button. This one single button was the only positive, purely positive fucking thing that we had. Join CQC from normal in-game state. I mean, it's so funny in some ways, right? It's the most positive thing. Woo.
At least you don't have to exit and go back into the game again.
Exactly, it's a shortcut. And apparently that shortcut is, well, the only thing that even I don't bitch about, right? So that's kind of interesting.
Like, why would you?
Exactly, right? It's purely positive, so there you go. But yeah, that there is the positive really about it. So, woohoo. Right, so that shortcut should be there when the CQC got released. Yeah, that is also another thing, but I've more considered it a quality of life thing added later on. Anyways, let's talk about the upkeep, shall we?
Oh God.
Yeah, so we got some information about the full amount and whatnot else that we have. So, thanks to Reddit there, we have a full, sort of a wonderful little list of essentially, information about upkeep and whatnot else. So, the total price of the fleet carrier when you buy everything on it is still 6.1 billion. So yeah, it literally has been reduced maybe by 150 million from the last one. So basically, they reduced the price of shipyard and outfitting and introduced universal cartographics, which kind of even out that fucking thing. Next thing is active upkeep. If you have everything installed, the active upkeep at maximum can be 26.7 million a week, making it a 1.33 billion a year. So it's still a billion and 300 million a year with all the things enabled. Of course, not everyone's gonna have that enabled, but still, regardless.
Yeah.
It's still a massive credit drain. Suspended upkeep. Right, so let's say you buy everything, but then decide, I want to go on whatchamahazards, the vacation. There we go. We want, you want to go to a vacation, right? It's gonna be 8 million a week. And as a matter of fact, calculator. So let's see, we have 300 million divided by 8, right? So that gives you 37 weeks at most before, you know, decommissioning starts. But developers said 10 weeks, which is contra. Again, we need to re-examine the level of the huge debt that you need to incur before forced decommissioning happens. Because even at
I think the 10 weeks was based on the point from which your carrier balance reaches 0, at which point...
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing the
base
same
upkeep
calculation there. So, regardless, we're going to see the decommissioning amount and confirmation of it in just a bit, but you know, later down this week. So we'll see what's what. But yeah, essentially, you know, at maximum, if you suspend everything, let's see, so 8.3 times 52, we have 430 million a year. And for some, that's super little. But that's not the point for me, right? For me, it doesn't matter if the upkeep is 1 credit a week. It's still there. It's still a negative. And the negative that is working against you when you're not playing the game. And no other ship in Elite does that. No other feature beyond power play does that. And when power play does it, it's only to decrease your rank, not remove stuff from you. It revokes access to a fucking bonus that you get, which you need to work for, and some would, you know, kind of say that it's okay, but I personally still hate it myself. But regardless, it wouldn't be removing shit from you, or rather reducing your price. It's not taking anything away from you that you already have. Well, again, you can say that rank is a thing, but rank is, again, an active boost or bonus that you use whenever you use it, right? So it's slightly different in the, you know, in the actual functionality of it. But this is constant removal of your assets.
On the note of upkeep, I've just noticed with my carrier, I don't know if you're getting the same thing. If you've transferred your ships over to it, my weekly upkeep, I haven't bought any additional services, but my upkeep has just increased to 5.75 million. I don't know what's up there. I've transferred all of my ships to it, and that's it.
Wait, so transferring ships increases upkeep. This must be a joke, right?
It better be.
Doubt it.
Outfitting livery. Where can I transfer the crap to my ship? Shipyard, the biggest button in my face, and I didn't see. God damn it, Yamiks, what the hell is wrong with you? Anyway, it's carrying on. Right, so transfer. Damn it, I don't have cash. I need to withdraw. Give me a moment.
Yeah, maybe look at upkeep before that too, so we can have a comparison.
I don't have anything installed, so it's 5 million. What am I doing? There we go. Carrier manager. What the fuck? Budget. Dispose. Transfer max. Withdraw. Clear. Transfer max. There we go. Now I can transfer shit. Okay. Button presses, Yamiks. Come on. There we go. Chocks. 7 minutes.
Yamiks,
yes.
you might want to transfer a little bit of money back to your holdings. Otherwise, if you get blown up, you're not going to have repay.
Oh, no. I have plenty. Now, again, in order for me to transfer, I can't use the ship's piggy bank. I must use my piggy bank, and I did transfer all the cash to the fleet carrier previously. So I transferred it back to my account. So now, again, this is something that should have been in the first place. It's my fleet carrier, for fuck's sake. Why can't I use its piggy bank to literally transfer my shit to it? Hey.
Much like maybe one owning a company wouldn't be able to use a company credit card to buy themselves a smoothie.
Oh, they definitely can't write off a smoothie, right? Yeah. Yeah, as if they don't do that, right?
True.
Yamiks, I bring good news.
It's a side effect of having this
Okay,
meeting.
Hell, what's up?
I tried to use the redemption office with the interstellar factor, and the game crashed.
What?
Oh, is it a
You pay your
persistent
fines, you
thing?
crash.
Well,
I
that was
tried
only one.
to
Was that
redeem my
only a
bounty
one
buck.
time? What is it, a
Well-
one-off or is it a persistent one? Because if it's a one-off, then welcome to unstable gameplay. If
For now, it's only one off. I'm gonna test it again.
Yeah, go for it. Again, it's like me celebrating from, you know, oh hey, the game failed to load. Oh whoopty. So yeah. Upkeep's a deal breaker, indeed. Personally, if upkeep is there, I will never use a fleet carrier because I don't need a constant ticking clock, even if I can afford it, for literal fucking 10 decades or whatnot else, or decades purely, right? No, I don't care. It's a disgusting penalty design, and I will not support it. I will not fucking use it beyond making a video about, you know, fleet carrier. So that's the only thing that I'll use it for, and immediately sell it. Just fuck it, if it has that. So now we wait 7 minutes. Whoop-dee. All right, let's see what we got. So yeah, five minutes or so. All right, so
You could prepare a jump sequence at this point, and all your ships will arrive before you jump.
yeah, I suppose. Let's see. Donate tritium.
I guess that would also be a funny thing to try out.
Oh, that's a good thing. If you prepare a jump sequence and your ships won't arrive until after you jump, will your ships still arrive in your hold in your new location?
That's
or
exactly what I
disappear
wanted
into the void?
Yeah, they will. I think you already paid when you initialized the transfer, so at this point I would expect it to transfer, regardless of the distance that you jump or not, because you already paid, right? So if it jumps, then it's technically on, or at least it should be onto the fleet carrier lore-wise to cover that regardless. I don't care personally.
2 for 2, Yamiks. 2 for 2.
Oh, fun times. Okay, try it again.
I'm repeating it.
Alright, I'll go test it myself as well, if it is repeatable.
Really putting those jump engines to the test there for 55 light year jump.
Holy moly, 55 light years. Are you sure the carrier can handle that?
Oh no.
3 for 3.
Okay, fun times. Alright, you need to go in carrier managing, okay, and then navigation, and then jump. Why can't there be a button straight away in the first? Whatever. Let's go for
Was
that.
that a button on there to put a livery on your fleet carrier?
The what?
The livery only allows you. It looks like it could potentially soon have skins in it, but at this point, the livery only functions as a way to rename your carrier.
Yeah,
They said livery will be disabled for this beta as well, so only in live in June we will know.
Oh man.
You got 14 minutes or whatnot else, okay? Alright, let's see. Shipyard.
Here's a question.
Yes.
Can you line up a series of jumps one after the other?
Nope.
And
No.
No.
No, you can only have one.
One at a time.
That would make way too much.
Yeah, the problem with fleet carriers is that you have to baby the fucking thing. And thing is, if you have to if it is designed to be babied like this constantly left and right, and you have to micromanage it, I mean, can we just get rid of upkeep already? I mean, the fucking micromanage is already bitch enough to handle. So again, this is another attempt of me just asking for fucking upkeep's removal. But god damn it.
Yeah, can I suggest a video that you can attempt to make when it goes live?
Oh, jeez. Okay. Yes. Please do.
How about you take a fleet carrier and just a normal ship with max jump what is it? Jump
Jumperconda.
Yeah,
and then you race them to see who can get, say...
Jumperconda is faster. I can tell you right away, because you can calculate this easily. We know that the record, give or take, to get from Seoul to Colonia takes, I think it with the Neutron Highway it took, what was it?
No, you can't use the Neutron Highway. That's cheating.
Okay, fine. Even without using Neutron Highway, I've done it myself in about 7 minutes, 7 hours. That is, to get from Shinrarta at the time, right? From getting Shinrarta to Colonia in about 7 hours. I've done that, right? But Fleet Carrier, you can calculate, right? Since you can jump every
less than 1 minute.
Every 20 minutes, right? You get to Colonia in about 15 hours. So technically you are going faster than the Fleet Carrier. So there we go. We are getting ships arriving, and let's see the upkeep of this goddamn shit barge or dildozer.
Well, there is the positive thing that at least with the Fleet Carrier you can take all your stuff with you.
Okay, my upkeep hasn't increased, but
it's not. Have you
I'll
transferred any
reload.
modules?
Modules. Give me a moment. So
Carrier in Kelowna.
Xbox, right? So apparently developers. Actually, I could look up. Give me the Twitter whether or not they have said anything about Xbox, but I don't.
They made a post. It should be online.
Oh yes,
since
the
1
update.
hour
The
ago.
issues have been fixed for the Xbox community. Okay, so Xbox apparently now can join. So there you go, fellow peasants. Well, you get what I'm saying.
It must have been one hell of a game-breaking bug. Probably something like deleting your account.
I kind of doubt it though. If it's fixed this quickly, I highly doubt that was that thing. But right, so transferred ships, and no, weekly upkeep hasn't increased. So let's try.
I
as
wonder
you
what
suggested,
I've done wrong. I've angered the upkeep gods.
Oh no! Actually, was there a piece of upkeep that cost 500, even suspended? Nope. Nope. The cheapest upkeep thing suspended is 700. So yeah, if it's 5.5. No, it's the Universal Cartographics that is cheapest apparently. Oh wait, hold on. To upkeep Universal Cartographics, it's cheaper than upkeeping Refuel, Repair, or Armory. Or Redemption offices. What? Redemption? What? What is
the
this?
reduction for suspended upkeep is lower for Universal Cartographics versus all the other services. This is quite strange.
It's. I mean, if it is just lore-wise, I would kind of understand that it's paper pushing, but then again, repair probably would be easier. What?
Oh,
it also. Oh wait, no. It takes redemption
point.
offices actually is pure paperwork, right? It's just what. Well, whatever. At this point, it's balancing numbers and what it tells that I don't particularly.
I don't know if this is relevant, but I just noticed that in the crew, it notes how many jumps your bridge crew has attended, I guess. I don't know why that matters, and it scares me why that might matter. Because
every time you jump,
tells me
every time you jump, your fleet carrier, quote unquote, gets damaged for 100,000 credits.
What a load of bullshit.
Yeah, I know,
that
right?
Scares me.
It makes literally no sense. Like, first of all, it's so small. Why is it
Are you saying the fleet carrier gets paint scratches that cost?
I have literally no idea why the jump penalty or rather jump damage, quote unquote, exists in the first.
Well,
first
you
of all,
just said
it's so
penalty.
small. It doesn't even, kind of register
Yeah,
in
no,
a way.
you said it right the first time. It's a penalty.
Well, it is
Well,
a
I
penalty,
mean-
clearly, for jumping, but why?
We
Why does
have
it
we have the ship integrity that degrades in Super Cruise, so I guess this is an equivalent to that.
that's
Ship
stupid.
integrity doesn't degrade in Super Cruise until you go ridiculous speeds or overcharge
Ridiculous
your
speed.
FSD beyond its
Wait.
safety limits.
Ship integrity reduces as you go ridiculous speeds,
Sorry, the
does it?
FSD integrity does, not the ship.
But
The only time
ship integrity does reduce in Super Cruise.
Oh, integrity. Oh.
Well, anyways,
the
well,
paintwork.
whatever the case is. Oh boy. Right, I'll keep transferring crap to my sheep and see what's what.
I'm not so sure about the 100,000 per jump because I just got a 750,000 credit upkeep
I'll
maintenance thing for
soon
one.
jump. I'll showcase that, but it's
Oh
just
no.
why does it?
So
You get
you
upkeep
now
per jump.
Hmm.
That's what I was afraid of. Do you get upkeep per
Yeah.
jump?
It's almost like they don't want us to use these things.
Hold on. I'm doing my second jump in 30 seconds. I'll let you know if my upkeep goes up.
Yeah,
Hold on,
I'm
hold
doing another one myself soon, so.
Okay, so Universal Cartographers works, but when I try to redeem my bounty vouchers, the game crashes.
Fun times. Many big fun times, and oh boy, oh boy.
If you're redeeming bounties at Universal Cartographics, I should hope it crashes.
No, I can use the Universal Cartographers with the flight data, but bounties in the redemption office crashes every time.
how long before you jump?
Let's see. The jump. Did it actually showcase?
I gotta hand it to him though. The sound design. Oh.
It's again. They are reusing. the
Not from the
capital ship
interiors.
jump. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's okay. It's smart way to do it, and that's one of the things
I
I
like
do.
it.
Say
That's the only
okay,
positive
nice,
that I can
nice
see
work.
so far.
Reusing that
Yeah, the
particular
sound
jump
is great.
animation. That's decent. That's proper way to do it.
Yeah, so under 6 minutes to jump.
Okay, so I am jumping to Epsilon Indy. Hold on. Jumping to Epsilon Indy, and I'm losing 24 units of tritium? Hold on. How far is Epsilon Indy?
24 units.
24 units, and Epsilon Indy, let's see.
55 light years.
55. Huh.
Give or take a point.
55.4, right? So let's see. Let's do a simple calculation, right? So 48 on 24. So that'd be what 2.3 light years per tritium, at least on this low range. Of course. Actually, I probably should. Once I jump, I will try to plot a 500 light year distance.
Upkeep increases 750,000 credits per jump.
Yep.
It
The fuck?
actually fucking does. My upkeep is now 6,500,000 credits per week.
So without saying they
What the
increased
fuck?
the damage per jump by
Absolute
7.5 times.
Let's at least wait until we see if it is linear or there's some kind of other thing going on.
There had better be a fucking fall off, and it had better come fast.
Hold on, button pusher. Sorry, I didn't see. The further you jump the carrier away from the system you purchased it in, the upkeep goes. What the fuck are you talking? What?
No, I'm currently
When I left
in
the
the
bubble,
system that I
upkeep was
purchased by.
like 50 million. What?
Oh my lord.
hold, what the no, it has to be written no, it has to be written somewhere in the fucking code. No. Okay, I'll jump and I'll take a look at, but
I jumped.
if I miss this, hold on. No, it again. Yes, that reaction wasn't else, but I really don't want to believe this. I just can't believe that the. Hold
It's
on.
an appropriate reaction.
let's see.
Jesus, I'm in the system that I just jumped back into the system that I purchased the carrier in, and yeah, my upkeep has increased now 750,000 per jump.
Ship. There's
Oh
no
my
article on upkeep though. Let's see.
I don't see any
That
listed
has to be a
penalty on my
bug.
upkeep page, so I don't know.
Hold on.
Oh my god! And replacing the bridge crew doesn't change the upkeep either. So the number of jumps is there. It's there forever. What? Is there any way to get
Weekly
rid of this
upkeep.
jump
Here we
upkeep?
go. Let's see. So there we go. Weekly
Oh, hold
upkeep.
on.
So a random next upkeep payment in details where the carrier budget will be allocated following action taken in fleet carrier banking. If anyone can actually find the portion within the codex, if it is even written. Hold on. Again, oh my god. If
I don't
this
think
is-
there were any upkeep numbers directly in the codex, at least not in beta 1, but I'm not 100% sure.
They haven't changed the codex portion at all. They haven't even scrubbed off the decommissioning or all decommissioning thing.
True.
So, debt related pending. Okay, so apparently there's no such thing. So we're literally jumping in a minute or so. So we'll see. In beta 1 it was 100,000 per jump. Okay. How the fuck did I miss this? I really don't understand. I mean, there were some bigger issues, of course, but that little fucking thing. Oh my. So basically, this is anti-explorer. It literally punishes for you if you get extra upkeep for jumping away for explorer.
Yeah,
I think
because
it's permanent.
No, I don't.
I
No,
can't
it's
see
not.
a way
I don't.
to...
No, I don't think
it's
it
only
should
the
be.
next payment. But the
God.
fun thing is, like the analogy I made up with ship integrity going down in Super Cruise, explorers don't repair usually their ship integrity while exploring, so they don't have to pay until they come back. But with a carrier, you are forced to pay it, you wish it or not, because it's upkeep.
Yeah. So wait, button pusher if you're in there. Let's see. But anyways, it doesn't matter if you pay that for 1 week or every week. That's bullshit. Yeah, it really doesn't matter if you pay it just because you jumped that far away or what else in that 1 week, right? It truly doesn't. It's still extra penalty for literally jumping. And wait, hold on. Okay, I'm doing a jump right now, right? This is
Jesus Christ.
Nice.
What the fuck?
okay. Sorry, folks. Right. Okay. All right, things. There we go.
Jesus.
Yep. It's all good. It's all good. Should be okay.
What the
Good
hell was
reaction
that?
time.
You know what?
Oh.
Yoink,
Hey.
yoink, 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 and done.
That's one way to do it.
I mean, you know, I'm kind of lazy now, so okay, right.
Good solution.
Yeah, it's temporary. Regardless, right? So we should have arrived, I think. Right. So let's see. Carrier management. Oh my God, it does.
Is it linear?
It's 750.
It's not linear.
It's 750,000 on my jump, just to Epsilon Indy.
So they denoted so many changes in the patch notes, but they just secretly increased the jump cost by 7.5 times without telling anyone.
Oh my God.
You gotta love FDev.
Hold on. Yeah, it's hull maintenance. Right, yeah. Okay, so yeah, it basically, it's, okay, right, never mind. In the previous beta, yeah, it was 100. Right, never mind. What?
After my second jump, it is now a 1.5 million.
Yeah, okay, yeah, right. I was getting a little confused there. For a second there, I thought that would be, you know, permanent one, but no, it's just the jump maintenance indeed. Yes, in beta 1 it was only 100,000 per jump, right? Now it's 750 a jump. I mean 750 a jump. 1,000 credits. So it doesn't matter how far you jump. It doesn't matter how. Just no.
Rip, the guy's going to Colonia.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, we already have to deal with fuel. Like, why does this exist?
It's literally almost 1 million a fucking jump. Are you kidding me? And if you just want to simply do a small little jump, and lo and behold, you lose, you know, 1 million, right? Just what? It's not only that you spend fuel on jumping, you also spend extra. Basically, they are just trying to split the penalty for jumping, or they are trying to set a set expectation minimum price for jumping, right? Because again, you can jump within the system, or you can jump you know, further distances, and this sort of hull maintenance is meant to set a set minimum, and that minimum for every jump quite high, as a matter of fact, which I hate this. Why?
Yeah, these jumps I've been doing have been tiny jumps too.
It's
yeah, I'll be honest. I was kind of okay with 100k because, well, I mean,
no, it didn't even make sense. Why is it there in the first place? Why does it need to exist? It needs to exist just to have a minimum set expected value of your credit drain for jumps. What? Just these calculations. The thing is, they are done for a specific reason, right? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do paint. TheYamiks is doing paint, folks. Hold on, we're doing paint again. Give me a moment. I'm gonna showcase you basic calculations that they are doing, right? Let's say, you know, this is hold on. No, before I go and just brush. Yep, there we go. Let's draw a cactus, of course, because, you know, that's necessary. Right, so essentially, first things first, you have, let's say this is the jumpometer, right? So let's have, here we go, 500
dear.
light years. There we go. Can I increase the font? Yes, I can. So let's go with 500 light years, something like that, and we have 0 light years, right? All right, so 0 light years, and essentially what they are doing, right? They are not allowing you to go from 0 to 100, with, or rather the price, right? So actually that there should be a price as well, right? They are essentially doing this. They are just putting a, you know, a marker, minimum, right? So this is minimum light years. Hold on, no, damn it. Hate paint. Delete. There we go. God damn it! Hold on. It's all good.
You gotta use ping.net, dude.
Shush. Okay, shush.
Ping.net is so far better.
There we
Makes
go.
you.
0 light
You've
years.
only-
There
you've
we go.
only, like,
That's
you've
the
only,
0
like,
light
drawn
year
3
mark.
times.
Yank.
It's already-
Right, so this is the 0 light year. And before you have jumped already, right? This thing, give me a moment. Let's paint it blue. Yes, let's go with blue, right? So that's the minimum cost for jump. That's why that hull thing is there. Angry Pigeon rant coming. Hey, Gavin. Thank you so much for your contribution. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so essentially this is that hull mass per jump. Let me just write in there. No. Hull mass damage. Damage. Yeah, there we go. That's gonna be the hull mass damage. Let's put it in raids. Yes. Famage, yes, it's famage.
Famage.
Yes. Shh. Shush. Right? So that's the price of jump, right? Hull mass damage is already incurred by default, right? And the rest is tritium price, right? Tritium price. So essentially what they are doing is just, you know, having a set expectation of each jump, how much it will cost. And that right now is going to be 750,000. And the rest will be the tritium price on top, right? So, yeah. Let's say I'm just going to put in, you know, something like that. And it's going to be... There we go. Oh gods. Well, okay, that's paint, folks. But yeah, that's basically how they do the maths for pricing, essentially, and it's just, hey.
I just have a terrible thought.
Yeah.
They're measuring the stuff as a percentage. If you get to 100% hull damage, do they not let you jump anymore for that week?
Oh my god, you might
dear
be
God.
right. Oh my
So
god,
that's
you
like
might be
8?
right. Hold
That's like
on,
8
hold on,
jumps?
hold on. How much is it? How much was it? 13%, was it?
13.
Let's see, where's the fucking navigate budget? So 30.
Attention, Yamiks is about to jump.
You're kidding me! Hold on. That basically means
Like
let's
8
see.
jumps.
So you know, you can make 7 jumps, or seven, maybe 8.
Wait a second.
Hold
Wait
on.
a second. The 13% is just like the
Total
amount
cost.
of the total cost. Like it's 13% of the 5.75 million you have right now.
So
doesn't
basically,
mean that
each
you have to-
week you can do only 4,000 light year jumps, max 4,000 light year distance each week if you can't fix it right away. And
I
it
don't
seems
think
you
that's
can't.
what it means. I don't. It's not 13% whole damage. It means the whole maintenance makes
Whole
up
maintenance,
13%
but
of the upkeep this week.
It's oh yeah, right. Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, it's the.
Oh,
part
yeah,
of
that
the-
makes sense.
Otherwise, that would be
yeah. Me and the math. I'm just thinking. Right, so you can make as many jumps as you want. It's all good, but even
It's just a breakdown.
Yeah, it's a breakdown. It's a percentage of the upkeep is split in percentage. For a second there, I was just having a fucking panic attack. Jesus.
But then
Okay,
again,
it's all good.
after
So you can
7
jump
jumps,
however many times you want.
After 7 jumps, your core cost is 1%.
Right. Let's see.
I'm still on the fence about the fleet carriers thing.
Jesus. I don't
Well,
think
everyone
there's
is. A
fence
lot of people
anymore.
are, but yeah, it's just Jesus Christ, man.
There's no more
Some
fence,
things
to
just
be
make
honest.
me wonder. They truly
I
do.
mean, like, I want one, Like, I really, really want
I mean,
one.
everyone would want one, or grind the game for one if it would be purely positive, right, and wouldn't incur any issues, right?
But
that
if
would
it's gonna
mean that you
screw me
achieve the end
over
game,
like
but
every 5 seconds, I don't want it.
yeah,
I don't want it if I'm gonna get screwed.
Indeed. Who wouldn't take a fleet carrier, right?
It's like winning a race, and then the trophy stabs you in the middle of the night every night.
It pokes you. It pokes you slightly. Just hey. Remember
It's
that
not
I
even
have upkeep.
stabbing. It's like
This
it's like shoving it. It's like shoving a knife in you and just twisting it around, making it all painful and shit.
It's literally just going in and saying that,
like having a trophy that at 2 o'clock
It's
in the
like-
morning gets up, jumps on you to wake you up, then goes back to where.
It's like the death by 1,000 cuts, but you're still alive, even after the 1,000.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that weekly upkeep, does that stay there or will it go away after 1 week?
Don't know.
The weekly upkeep.
Because
Right.
if you jump and that 7,500 stays there week after week, then the fleet carriers suddenly become a complete pointless thing.
No, they don't. It's the 700k is added to the total cost for that week, and on the next week it will be reset to the normal weekly cost until you
the
start
whole
jumping
maintenance is basically quote unquote fixed, if you will. So, yeah.
Oh god.
That is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's.
Oh,
Christ.
I
I
mean,
just had a nightmare thought.
Again, why do we need to incur a fucking jump penalty, right? What? Well, fuck, I did answer that myself. Big brain TheYamiks, basically. Jesus Christ. But no, it's literally to set a minimum value per jump. Doesn't matter how long it is. Essentially, jumping consists of 2 prices. The set expected minimum plus the tritium value, right? So... So basically, no matter if you mine tritium, right? No matter if you mine it constantly, you're gonna still need to pay every time you jump. That's why it's there.
Did people complain about how much the tritium was costing?
I have a feeling that, yeah, people did, so that's why developers kind of, changed it. So, yeah.
Wait, what was the tritium cost?
I think it was 40,000 per ton. So,
That
yeah.
much?
Yeah. Yep. At least that was a little while back.
But
yeah.
If it was 40, doesn't matter what price it is. You could go and mine it yourself. If the cost of tritium is now down, mining that for yourself, it doesn't matter because you've still got that penalty that you get no matter what.
It's I don't know. I really don't know. It's a mess. Basically, it's a mess.
So it's almost as if Frontier don't want us to play their game.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, well.
I also don't understand the permit lock thingy. I mean, if we
So
have
that
the
you can't
permits,
take people, so that you can't take people that don't have the permits into those permit locked systems. I think that's reasonable.
Right. So the reason why fleet carriers, whatever, can't jump into a permit locked or a system that would have either unlockable permits, right? Somehow acquirable permit, or it's a unknown permit or whatnot else. It's reason that you wouldn't be able to take people without those permits there, or you wouldn't have to deal with the fact that you need to literally kick out the people who has that permit there, or that their ships, the people who perhaps even left your fleet carrier and left their ships on your fleet carrier wouldn't get locked out of their own things that they stored on your ship. So I personally agree with this idea that they should limit fleet carrier jumping to only systems that are unlocked for everyone by default, right?
But in like
purely makes sense.
multi-crew,
Yes.
in multi-crew, you can take people that don't have the permit into the system with the
But they
permit.
can't interact. The thing
Yeah,
is,
that's-
the only thing people in multi-crew can do is help the person that, you know, is there with their ship. You can't interact with the markets there. You can't interact with, you know, you can't buy ships from those systems. That's the reason why multi-crew allows, you know, you to join, you know, a person anywhere, right?
Sure.
But yeah, I personally agree with that decision. Really, that's fine. I don't mind it, so it's all good.
Angry pigeon rant? I thought it was the angry horse rant.
No, the angry pigeon is essentially from when was it? I think it was Exegius's stream that we did, or whatnot else that he, you know, organized a little while back. That essentially he, you know, said that by the end of the stream, you know, describe yourselves. You know, how would you describe yourself to, you know, the people who perhaps don't know you? And what TheYamiks did was say, chats probably know me better, so those that know me, describe me to rest of the folks, and give your best 10-word sentence about me, or something like that. You know, have fun with that. And CGS limited to 2 words himself, but regardless, and that's where the angry pigeon came from. so that's not a bad way to describe me, I guess. Squawk, squawk. Poop, poop.
Oh, I actually went to Midland Hollow one day.
So yeah,
I personally would have gone with Angry Cockerel, but...
well,
Oh my
anyways,
God, I know what they
those
did.
that want to go with my mega fleet carrier to Mitter and Hello, you have a
No,
couple
I
of minutes
landed
to
on
dock. All right, so yeah, my thing is gonna be going for Mitter and Hello in just a bit.
I mean,
so
I'm not
we'll
in
see.
game. I'm watching the stream.
I'm watching TheYamiks too. It's fun.
And Alien Yamiks asked me to write all these tens of words.
I mean, it's
Okay,
interesting
I
it
English
feels
sometimes as
wonderful.
well. So there you go. But yeah, well, there you go.
Yamiks, do you remember the different styles you could have for the carrier depending on what one you bought earlier?
You mean the first teased iterations?
Yeah, the 3 different
okay.
styles.
Actually, I can show that. I think. Let's.
They're
go
gonna
to
sell those as library now.
YouTube.com.
Not exactly. I mean, they had only support vessels in the initial leak, not actually different carriers, but only different
It was the
support
front
vessels
my
around.
carrier
video.
that was.
Let's see. God
What
damn it.
ship?
Oh yeah, what
costs
are the
about
support vessels? I
7,500?
totally forgot that was a thing.
It seems like they took
Sorry,
chunks.
750,000.
Where's the official Elites channel? Damn it! Here we go. Fuck no. That's how
seems like
hard
they
this is.
chunks.
Anyways, right. So originally
the
fleet
support.
carriers. Let's see if I can find the
They
original
would
fleet
have 3
carrier.
different kind of what's it called bridges.
Oh God! 7 months ago? No, it was during. During the LaveCon, or they leaked it. Literally a few moments before LaveCon themselves. They didn't schedule it properly, so it was during the LaveCon. So it should be somewhere here. 10 months ago. Enclave, Crafting Crate. That was pretty decent. Here we go. Fleet Carrier teaser. That was the first one, but there were a few other ones, I think. Let's see. The teaser was, yeah, basically this ship. That's it. It was just a panning shot. That was all. Yeah, that was the panning shot one for this one. But where?
Yeah,
are
then
other...
the next one would show off 3 different kind of bridges for the desired if you went bounty hunting, mining, or exploring.
Yeah, I just try to remember whether or not it was on a video or was it.
TheYamiks
Does
idea.
it say how much hull damage percentage is actually
Yes.
taken?
Game clips and okay. Well, let's see this one then. It's from a different channel, but regardless, there you go. Oh, that was the reveal trailer. Yes. Damn it. Oh, yes, there we go. Yes. They basically just showcase the pictures. Yeah, there we go. That's showcasing the pictures, right? So yeah, there you go. That was the one. It should have been somewhere on their official channel too. October 20. Oh, hold on. Damn it. I think October. Show me. Also, if you didn't know, Control-Shift-T on any browser, as a matter of fact, is getting back the closed browser tab. It's very useful. Anyways, teaser. It should have been somewhere around these parts. Their teaser.
Maybe they took it down because they didn't want
No, I don't think
people to look at it anymore.
No, I don't think they took it down. They don't do that. At least that's good. Let's... Distant Worlds. I think it was before Distant Worlds, but that's the only one. Well, regardless, yeah, they did showcase basically different styles, and I have a feeling that it might end up being essentially either a cosmetical pack or something later down the line, if at all. But because they have such a different look and design, honestly, might not ever be even given to us. So it's kind of weird, right?
It looks like kind of in the dry docks for the fleet carriers that you see in the beta right now.
There are
the
dry
different
docks,
styles kind of have some looks similar to the support vessels, so I think they just kind of merged the assets.
No, they clearly did. Although,
the...
actually, no, they didn't merge the assets. They basically used only one of them, the more useful one with more landing pads, and that's it. But anyways, oh, in the chats, I see some Latvians. Yes, well, no, čavums un labas dienas un vispārējās, vai ne? Savējiem. Cik nu? Anyways, right. But yeah, this...
So, just to clarify, how much hull damage did you take from one jump?
Again, each jump is 750,000 credits. 750,000.
Based on the total upkeep of my carrier, it was 9% the first time and 16% on the second jump.
Yeah, it's just the
budget. I think that's the percentage of how much it actually is going to of the amount you actually owe for that week. That's a percentage of the. I don't think that's 80 whole. I don't.
I think you're correct.
No. It's what essentially it shows is essentially the price calculated in percentages, and it's breakdown for that week's upkeep cost.
Yeah.
If you have a larger overall upkeep and more stuff on your carrier, it's going to be
lesser percentage, yeah, and so on and so forth. It's not a limit, right? It's not the 13% is the limiter, right? It's clearly just right. So it looks like we're going to be jumping.
So does that mean that you can have unlimited number of jumps?
No. It's a breakdown. It just shows that one jump percentage-wise against the rest of the upkeep. So you can, I guess, God damn it, my coffee. I think they can, they should jump however many times you have wish for. Again, I don't think developers said that they would ever put a limit on it. Let's see.
Because if they're claiming that the amount...
No, they didn't ever say that there would be a limit. So yeah, the only thing that limits your jumping capability is the tritium.
And your bank balance.
Yes, yes, very much so. So yeah.
And the amount of time you can play.
What is the start?
You have to babysit it.
I really don't see any feasible way anyone, no matter how many credits, could ever just get a fleet carrier and use it for anything functional, at least.
You know what would be kind of nice for fleet carriers? Here's a quality of life improvement, I suppose. To have an external camera. When you're jumping, like myself, right now sitting inside, I kind of want to see the jump, right?
Yeah.
And sitting inside, you're just hearing sounds. That's it. Yeah, exactly. So
They made a nice animation and then didn't let anyone see it.
the Winter
Yeah.
Mule Xbox is still not working, is it? Let's check the Twitters then.
If you actually jump to 500 light years, it will cost 770,000.
See, it doesn't seem that developers have said anything else, but apparently it should be working. Let's see, any news? Because granted, developers are quick enough to respond on Twitter about these things, so that's kind of nice. And props to PR people who respond about these things. But
it gives a time that the UTC 3 o'clock says.
oh yeah, UTC. So currently the UTC clock. Oh geez, it's 3 hours back. It's
15:36.
Yeah, it should be. It should be half hour up. If it's not, then do ask people. And sure, hey, if you want to come in voice, I can pull you in. If not, greetings to you regardless.
Maybe they can't do hours mathematics.
Maybe it's really kind of hard to say, really.
If you buy all the tritium, it'll cost 40 million.
What, to buy all the tritium in the galaxy?
To buy 1,000 tritium, it'll cost 40 million.
Yeah, full tanker gas for fleet carriers is what is it? Full tanker gas of fleet carriers is 40 million.
40,000.
Here's the question. Can you store tritium in your storage hold apart from the fuel section?
I'm trying to find that.
I think you
I'm
can.
trying to find that out right now.
Yes, hold on.
Into the hot...
Yes, you can. You can store anything in your cargo hold. So technically, the fuel tank is, let's imagine the normal ship. You know, that top line, that injected portion. That's the one being used. That you can't take out again. But rest is basically in cargo. So yeah, you still need, but you still need to sort of pull it out of the cargo and put it in the fuel tank. Essentially, that's yeah.
And you can't do that remotely, apparently.
There needs to be a button which says refuel from cargo hold.
Oh yeah.
And that button isn't there.
You have to buy from your own commodity market to put it into the carrier.
Oh.
No, you can just use the cargo transfer.
In the right hand panel, if you go to inventory, there's a transfer button, whether you have a fleet carrier or not, that allows you to transfer cargo to a fleet carrier.
Indeed.
Okay.
Right. Oh crap! I haven't set up the Discord.
You can actually press this button,
regardless,
whether you have a fleet carrier or not, and it'll just stay pressed forever, which is weird.
Developers have responded on the 750,000 penalty for each jump. Apparently, it is supposed to be 100. And apparently, it's a bug or a wrong number.
That's good to hear.
So that okay. I mean, okay, but why it's still there?
How did that
Why
happen?
bother? No,
I know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. How do you mistake 100,000 for 750,000?
That's a
not
good
really
question.
A misclick.
That's a whole bunch of digits that are not the same.
Thing is, it still affects me. It still is 750 for me. Right?
1.5 mil.
Yeah, it's now 1.5
Damn,
mil.
that planet's flying past you fast.
Oh, that is the Mitterrand Hello. The notorious or glorious, I don't know which one. Also, I lost 1% of the fuel for that jump. Actually, how much did I lose? Tritium. I lost 10 tons? The fuck? Hold on, I lost 10 tons just to move from Mitterrand Hollow to Mitterrand Hollow from let's see which thing I was orbiting at that time. I was orbiting
New Africa?
Allison World, so that's not even a light year.
Yes,
10 tons of
ESPD.
oh god, the minimum jump cost is 10 tons of tritium. Fuck me.
Yes, that was the case in beta 1. That's the exact same.
Minimum, so basically any jump is 10 tons. Fucking hell, come on.
Can't,
One jump
can't
is
you not
400,000.
target a
Oh
specific
wait, so
planet in
hold
the
on.
system?
So that means the 55.48 million light years.
You 24.
Yeah, was 24. So 14 tons was that distance. So that makes almost 4 light years per ton. So technically, well, since you can only do 500, so that's 500 is that's a good question. How? Hold on. Yeah, basically divided by 4. Let's say so that's 100 and plus. Okay, so to do 100, let's see. So that's tons. Okay, and 1,000 on 135. Okay, so with my calculations, you can do almost you can do 7 full 500 light year jumps from 1 full tank of gas.
Presuming, of course, that
It's not
longer
bad.
distances don't consume more.
Honestly, I don't mind if it. Yeah, if you can do full 7 jumps. Okay, fair enough. It's not bad. I mean, realistically speaking, I think Furtherlands can only do like 6 or 4 jumps. No, I think it is 4.
3,500 light.
Something like
Light
that.
year.
So yeah, wait, hold on. So one
Because
full tank of
do you
gas
know
will get
shorter
you about
distances-
4,000, almost 4,000 light years.
We do know that shorter distances use less fuel on the small ships.
Now that is a good question. So yeah, actually, I could plan a
The only way
jump.
to test this really is to do a 500 light year jump.
Yeah, let's see. Can I plot a route from? What would be the best way to calculate the 500 light year? Okay, so fuck it. The closer I go to the. What?
The best way to calculate it would be to actually perform a 500 light year jump.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm attempting to do. Sort of find a star system that is 500 light years, at least close to it.
Or you just have
From
to
where
target
I
and
am.
see.
Let's see.
Does anyone have a good location to actually buy tritium? Or we still
No
figuring
idea.
that
Go
out?
mine.
I'm looking at it.
Enjoy the quality
I haven't-
gameplay.
In
I
beta
haven't,
1, it was very strange because
I haven't found anywhere to get tritium yet.
Go
Yeah.
grind.
It's
Well-
trinium will be mined in icy rings.
Yes, I know. I've been looking at icy rings. I've prospected about sorry, not
Try
prospected.
elite data.
Scanned.
Go to Boran.
Huh?
let me
no,
check what I
Boran's
found out in
and
beta
Mans.
1. Give me a sec.
I'll just try and
Also,
do manually for now.
so
Do you think we'll get to beta 3 or do you think they'll push it live with bugs?
Oh,
Okay,
they will
I
push
have
it live with
found-
bugs. I mean, let's be honest.
What if they not pushed anything live with bugs?
Somebody has a question for me, yes?
I have one that is 499.97 light years away from my carrier.
I have 498 light years. See if I can find 2 light years somewhere. I have 498.74, and this should be 501. God damn it!
498. There you go.
508, you say? Something. That one's closer. What about you? Oh no! 500.68.
Oh, damn!
Come on! Come on! Let's see.
So close and yet so far.
See. 499.80. Here we go.
What the fuck?
Oh no, my fuck. Oh, my stupid. No! No! Why? Stupid bookmarks.
What was the name of it? Anyone remember?
Somebody
on,
in the
let me
chat,
rewind- let
if
me
you can
rewind the
remember
live
that place. Oh god. Okay, well at least I have the previous
Just rewind your stream.
bookmarks that I have.
Okay, COL. Oh no!
Hold
no,
on, I
hold
think
I'll
I
put it
found.
again.
Yeah, I found it.
COL
I found it. I
359
found it.
sector UD D463. So UDS D463.
There we go. I found it. I found it. I remember what. There we go. I found it. It's all good. So, all right. let's see how much fuel does it take to basically go to maximum. I can return to Epsilon Indy, no problem. Eventually. So, let's
It will take
go.
76. 67. Sorry.
There is the thing. Right. Here we go. Evocals. Yeah. Thank you. And if I plot to it, okay. Actually, it should show me already how much fuel will it cost.
Yep, it will.
It
takes
right, it actually already shows. Right, so it's gonna be 329. So that.
Mine takes
right.
exactly 67 off.
Right, so, yeah, just as I predicted. Yep, it is indeed. Maximum jump will consume 135, 37 tons. So you can make so you can make 7 full jumps in full full fuel tank.
Full tank.
Rate of trinium. What's the one I'm looking for here? Consumption is fixed.
Who's got the woofer?
167.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Don't worry.
Push to talk's a good tool.
As a funny side fact is that actually quite a lot of people have said that thanks to my videos and the squeaky noise thing sound effect I use often, many dog owners get their dogs I don't know, happy or excited.
No, I'm wearing headphones. Like my dog's barking at something else entirely.
Yeah, and I'm just saying that that's sort of a common comment that I get.
What's squeaky noise?
Can I stop the jump?
Oh, well.
Oh, please tell me
yes.
I can stop the jump.
You can cancel.
Yes. There we go. All right.
Where's the cancel jump?
Oh boy.
All right. So there we go. That basically is the calculation and what it tells. So yeah. Still personally don't see the reason why. God damn it. Who needs this masterpiece, right? Gods, why is it on this screen everywhere? Don't save. Don't need that masterpiece to be saved. Who cares, right? Calculator app.
Oh, and I was going to put it forward for the Guinness World Record greatest piece of
Frame it, yeah. Frame it and put it up on the wall, right?
So
Yamiks, yes?
That 0.17 light years more takes 30 tons more fuel for me than it does for you.
I think it might also take weight, like how many units
yeah,
are
if
used.
you can post a picture, that's interesting.
Actually, that would be a good question. Does how much weight of the carrier is used
It
up?
takes 167 tons from me for jumping 499.97.
Jesus.
Hellray, how much is used of your carrier capacity? Like how much is the capacity usage number? That would be interesting.
Just post a picture. It'll be easier. But anyways, Heratian, right? So the
5,900.
I think they meant that you get their dogs barking at TheYamiks, blah blah blah. Yeah, yes, indeed. Apparently dogs are fans of my content, I guess. So there we go. Let's see.
Well, you are pigeon.
Oh yeah, you're right. Here we go. Let's see.
You know, Yamiks, you're going to have to get a pigeon head like you have a horse head.
I need a new mask. Actually, I do need to order a new mask. So here we go. Yeah, Hellray is right. So we have actually numbers there. So
you didn't buy anything for your capacity, did you?
No, I didn't. Mine is completely empty. So
mine
it's
has
167 tons for basically almost perfect 500. So that's interesting calculation. And that's weird, right? Mine would take, let's see, mine is, what was it?
137.
Yeah, basically I have, fuck, 170 light seconds less, right? Than a light, fucking hell.
But maybe capacity has a thing there. Maybe that increases it, like weight.
That is a weird one, man. This is the thing. I mean, I get it why developers wouldn't, tell us what would be the consumption algorithm, but it would be still nice to know. Oh well.
Maybe they secretly didn't tell you so you'd have a way to make content or something to make content with.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the next thing. Yeah. Sure. Well, in any case, let me check a couple of things.
Although, in all honesty, a sensible person would never deliberately give you a way to make more money.
Then how much fuel will it eat if you have it full up with 25,000 units? Will it eat all 1,000 for 500 light years?
Oh no.
Possibly.
No. I think they limit the damn thing to about 200. I think it should be about 200 or so. So maybe.
Are you basing this on rational thought?
Yes, I know it's not a good idea, but screw it. I'll try to apply some rational stuff to basically the levels of frontier development, or rather the developer development thoughts. But oh well, there you go. Well, regardless, yeah, for the time being, I don't know, the fleet carriers just, there are bigger issues, of course, than but I mean, okay, fine. 7 light years, 7 full range jumps. Honestly, not a bad idea. There are, smaller ships that can jump less, and I honestly wasn't really that much concerned about the 2 jump limit, though there are issues as well.
So about 6 jumps from a full tank for me.
Yeah.
5.988.
Let's
I suppose the only way to confirm whether it is how much weight your carrier takes or not is to buy all the
let's say the full range jump is 137 else, because let's be honest, no one's gonna find edge case like what Hell did, or maybe they would, I don't know. Regardless, let's say it's more appropriate.
Try to buy everything and then try to jump again. Let me try that actually.
Times 40. Okay, so basically a full range jump will cost 5 million, give or take. So there you go. Full range jump is a 5 million. And a little bit more. So that is an interesting one. And of course, the thing is, if a full range jump is a 5 million and minimum is already taking 10, oh, actually, hold on. Times, what was it? 10, right? Each jump already is 400, right? Why did I calculate? God damn it, my brain is shutting down to the... I can't do a simple multiplication and speak as well. God damn it.
It's actually 500,000.
multiplication.
So each jump costs not 400. Well, of course, if you buy the fuel constantly, but it's 500. It's basically half a million per jump, no matter where it is. And of course, it can go up to fucking 5 million. So why do we need that hull maintenance penalty? Like, really?
Where was it? I need the pictures again. Why are you there?
Sunk cost fallacy.
Oh no, the sunk cost fallacy is almost eradicated from this fucking thing because we don't have depreciation and we don't have the distance penalty. Now we only have base penalty for jumping. I mean, yeah, fuel costs, I get it, but I still don't get this. Right?
See, the thing
If
I
it's-
don't understand about the way
If
they
it
does.
jump. What?
The weight, it increases it. I'm now taking 206. 256.
Oh, the weight. Oh no.
Yeah, the weight has a. Let me send another picture. I can show you.
Oh,
weight capacity.
no.
Yeah.
Oh
Give me a second.
no.
So the question is, what does the 2005, sorry, 25,000
So yeah, the
units
capacity.
max cause this?
I got it as close as possible I could.
Let's see. What is my capacity? Right. Mine is empty, right? Yeah.
Yours should be 0.
Yeah, mine should be
Yeah,
empty.
it's
and what
on
else?
your right hand side of the screen.
Yeah, there we go. We have 0. Yeah, I have a completely empty one. So capacity does as well. Oh no. Oh, come on, Discord. Oh, for fuck's sakes, Discord. What the hell? There we go. We got capacity almost full and oh no.
It actually decreases the jump capability as well.
No, it doesn't. Wait, no.
Yeah, it does. Jump capability 500
After
light
a
years.
jump. After a jump.
After jump
What?
475.75.
Oh, that's because of the amount of fuel you'll have left after the jump.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
you
Yeah,
need
that
more
makes
fuel.
sense.
So yeah, it doesn't decrease the jump capability. It's just consumption of the fuel. I mean, it makes
okay.
sense, I guess, but so basically, if it's a completely empty fleet carrier, it's best case. Oh, actually, no. Let's calculate this thing. Let's say you have
Max will be 260.
So let's see. So you have. Okay, let's see. So we have.
So basically 3 jumps.
Basically, yeah.
2 for 4. So that divided by. Right. What am I doing? Brain time. Right. That was 499.97. Yes, divided by.
So now that we have 3 data points, we could
Ah,
probably
wrong
calculate
buttons. What am I doing?
how
Calculate
much
TheYamiks. Jesus.
extra fuel.
My brain is
increases.
freezing up. Jesus Christ.
Well, never mind.
Oh, what am I doing? 49.97. Of course, wrong digit. There we go. 97. Divided by 256. There we go. That's 1 point something. I mean, yeah, the fuel tank clearly is what it is, but let's see. So each jump. Yeah, each jump. Let's see, 5. Okay, so that's per light year times 500. I'm dumb. What am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? 5. There we go. Times what was? Can you no? Stupid calculator, man, person, TheYamiks, damn it, times 400. There we go. 10 million. Jesus Christ, that was hard to get right.
Are you alright, TheYamiks?
Brain
I
is
don't think I
freezing
can
up.
get it any closer now.
The brain is freezing
Has
up. So basically,
TheYamiks ever been over?
okay, so regardless, the bottom line is that almost at the full capacity of the fleet carrier, your fuel, basically you're going to be spending quite a lot more fuel on a jump, and per jump may end up being at more than 10 million worth. Yeah.
I think I've now gotten to the point where I can't get it any closer.
Yeah. Well, regardless, it's an expensive jump. Let's just say so. It's an expensive jump, and
It ate 6 more fuel. and I can't get it any closer.
All right, it's all good. It's all good.
That is
Let's
as
see.
close as I can get to max values.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Right. Well, let's see. Is there anything else?
We knew there had to be some way that the fuel consumption would go up. This is Frontier we're talking about.
I suppose, but
It's frustrating, but it makes sense.
no, it makes sense, and honestly, it's not a bad thing. Honestly, the way the fuel is right now, it needs to be tested in bigger environment. But for now, it's a good starting point to start measuring these things. I think so. Fuel wise. Basically, it needs just a real-world testing and how people end up using these things. So we're just gonna have to investigate that because honestly, I literally have no idea where to start with it. The point about the fleet carriers for me mostly is to just not have the upkeep because, well, you know my stance on the upkeep. Every jump cost in a credit wise that really shouldn't exist. The only reason why it's there is to basically set an expected amount of credits they want you to lose every jump, because it's not guaranteed that the fuel that you have in the fuel tank is not simply mined rather than bought. So they can't guarantee a certain credit amount. Essentially, what fleet carriers are smelling of tremendously right now, even now, right after the first beta, is that they just simply want to drain your pockets of excess credits. And honestly, it's just... You allowed this economy in Elite Dangerous to happen, right? You basically created a game that had both these credit exploits or quote-unquote exploits or money grinds or whatnot else, especially right now with the mining, right? Even right now, right? You just allowed that to happen, and really, this is not the way to fix it. There's really no proper way to fix it, I think. It's there. And so what? Okay, old players have a shit ton of credits, but let them have it. Really,
it kind of reminds me of when they added horses to EverQuest and the sheer cost of them.
EverQuest. I never played it, so give a little bit background there.
EverQuest, back when they added the Lucklin expansion, although I know people say it Looselin, they also gave the players the ability to buy mounts that they could ride around on, but they were extraordinarily expensive, like really expensive.
And
it was only the top end player base that could actually afford them. Now everybody and their monkey's got.
Oh, I got a squeak from Elmo Tastic. Hey, thanks for the subscribe there. Really appreciate it. And on the Discords I have Kiken Dracon.
That's me, Drago.
Oh, I see. You posted that wonderful picture here. So give or take.
Yeah, I took the 3 data points from the 2 from Hellray and yours.
Yeah. Okay, so alright, fair enough, I suppose. So that's the 100% capacity, and at max, probably about 250 per jump. So yeah, it can go down from 7.4 jumps at maximum down to less than 4 jumps. So yeah, 3.5. It's interesting. The capacity certainly will be, rather than general speaking, jump capability of fleet carriers, the more you load it in and what else, it's weird. And the funny thing is also, because you would potentially put those fleet carriers out with a with a universal cartographics for exploration, that too takes capacity, so that means you can't make a full jump, and it's just Iron Ace, hey, thanks for the sneak peek. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. So yeah, it's, again, jumping needs to be tested. Basically, it varies, but it doesn't vary in I don't know, 3 jumps at maximum capacity, considering that if you put everything on the fleet carrier, then you'd assume that it is mostly used for within the bubble sort of a thing, and it doesn't need to jump much. If it is an exploration fleet carrier, you would, well, rightfully so, make it at least not weigh a lot, so, But if you want to offer your, let's say, explorers AFMUs and resupply for many things and repair, whatnot else, it all still takes a fucking, amount of capacity within the fucking thing. So, yeah, it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while to at least examine how it jumps and all that stuff. Let's see. We still need to, convince developers that we don't need to buy shit in fucking bundles, okay? I hate that idea. I really do. It's just, why do we have the fucking bundles? Hey? Sorry, I was cutting you out. What?
You can't even stock everything. You don't have enough capacity to buy every single package.
Yeah. No, it's okay. The thing is, it's a fleet carrier, right? Okay. If you designed it to be lesser than a, static station. Okay, if you have designed it as such, clearly it would make also sense that it should have something that a static station doesn't have. Otherwise, why have static stations, right? And from that game design perspective, fleet carriers, okay, if they are designed not to be as good as stations, fine. But then, on the other hand, you further limit their customizability with those stupid packages. You need, if you, let's say, want Asp Scout for some weird-ass fucking reason, you want Asp Scout to be sold on your fleet carrier, you not only need, Asp Scout to be bought, but also another fucking bunch of ships that you don't want to sell, potentially even, right? Or the same thing goes with, let's say, utilities. You want to sell only heat sinks for AXI people, right? But no, along with that, you still need, to sell, I don't know, chaff and whatnot else that don't really need to be used. And that capacity could have gone for something more useful. Which is a big fucking sort of a disappointment, frankly.
Yeah, like if you want to sell the Type 10 Defender, you have to sell the keelback as well.
The thing is, we all realize as players, right, that the fleet carriers will have limitations, or at least we expect some limitations from them. But then, because we have those limitations, we would try and do our best to utilize the existing space to best of our ability. But the game just simply says, nope, you got a bundle, screw you. At least, that's kind of how I, see the things.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
Yeah, it's again, I have a feeling that essentially those bundles are made so that it is easier to control how the capacity varies between, each bundle or each thing. Because remember, there are a shit ton of bundles as is, right? And it takes a lot of effort to balance out and make sure that everything is properly balanced, and bundles offer easier and a shortcut to it.
Yeah, but with bundles, it's like, there will, no matter which bundle you buy, you will have certain modules that will never get sold and that will take up capacity, actual capacity on your carrier forever, because they will never, ever go away. Unless you go buy them yourself from your own carrier.
Yeah,
I know the in-game reason for why there are bundles.
No, you don't explain in-game, or rather, you don't use the game's...
In-universe.
You don't explain in-universe things with the... Or rather, you don't explain the game mechanics with in-game universe explanations. It's like saying, oh, you need to go and basically sell all your ships because Torvald told you so. That's stupid, right? So let's not devolve to that stupidity level, okay? Let's examine each game mechanic and try to see how it's supposed to be fun or engaging, or what it's meant to achieve. you know, let's for example, let's say ship rebuy cost, right? It's there first of all to sort of have a penalty for fucking up, right? So to have that dread, you know, to enjoy the game and make sure that you don't basically just say fuck it and do whatever you want. What else? It's there to sort of penalize that just fucking around too much and not having consequences of your actions. But on the other hand, why it's 95% discounted? Well, because ships cost a lot regardless. So yeah, that's why you kind of, you know, like, you know, look for explanations for these game mechanics and so on and so forth. So yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know.
What I'm trying to figure out is why you have so many ships landing on your fleet carrier right now, yet your fleet carrier has nothing for them to do, to buy, to sell, to anything.
Because I haven't bought anything, that's why.
Why are they still coming and landing?
Some of those are actually, I think, NPCs, but in this case, those would be the players.
Yeah, I mean, why have NPCs?
To make it look lively.
Yeah.
Yeah, they send NPCs to decorate your ship a little bit, but like it's really pointless.
That's again just like in normal space, just like in icy rings when you spawn in them, right? NPCs also get spawned in that exact location, but once you go away from that original spawn point, NPCs stop spawning. All the NPCs that are put in this game, in this open world, that are literally put there just literally to sort of make it look not empty, because let's be honest, without NPCs it would truly look super empty unless you're playing in open, and even then, right? Of course, after you go outside the bubble, well, it's expected to be lonely and empty, but yeah, I mean, it's not a bad trick. It does make it a little bit more, you know, even sometimes funny and lively, but it's cheap. I don't know. It's kind of cheap.
I'm not bothered that they do it. I'm bothered that they do it.
It's proper. It's proper.
And then they don't let NPCs actually trade on your ship or do anything to help you.
Yeah.
I'm not getting a closer look at the ship, which is on the medium-sized pad, bottom right hand. No, yeah, right hand side. I can't see.
Looks like a crate.
Let's see. Radreon, cringe question, brah. Okay, brah. Let's go, brah. There are like two people, or brah, in the chat who are super fans who don't know much. What? Brah? What?
Brah.
I have no idea. Sorry, I have no idea there. Exactly. Anyways, fine. Fuck it. Right. The thing. All right. So speaking of NPCs, actually, because NPCs get spawned near your fleet carrier when you are, of course, present, right? And they sort of interact, quote unquote, with your fleet carrier. You know, that kind of leads me to a point of upkeep, right? I personally am of belief that fleet carriers, you know, if they are designed for the end goals of, you know, players or people who have played literally hundreds of hours of your game, you know,
or
thousands even, right? Instead of having an upkeep that constantly is a penalty system, you know, rather just be a trophy. Just give them this, you know, big achievement, like with you know, when you reach elite rank, just and you get to go to Shinra the Desert. Just give them fleet carrier when they, you know, are able to afford it. And dispense with the penalty systems. Some would say, again, there are valid points that say that, oh, well, it, you know, it kind of creates it, you know, boring or whatnot else, and that it could potentially just be similar to every other fleet carrier. But first of all, we have no ways of checking what the fleet carriers have. So the more predictable they are, let's say, eventually everyone can buy everything on them and, you know, have no problems carrying those around. Just have that, and that be the predictable aspect of it, maybe? I don't know. But if it's a trophy, just simply, be a reward. And how about instead of just having upkeep, right? Have fleet carriers be the positive reinforcement to help the people, or rather, incentivize players to return to the game. In this case, I am implying here that developers could potentially give a weekly bonus of, let's say, 10 million. Because let's be honest, that person who has a fleet carrier probably has a shit ton of credits and don't really need them more, but psychologically they will still remember, hey, if I log in each week, I still get 10 million, right? That would be a better positive reinforcement to return to the game. And sure, that would just, give them more credits, but let's be honest, 10 million is not much. And, and then let's say you don't get any credits from selling, repairing, or doing anything beside the commodity market, right? So selling ships, you don't get any credits from selling or buying that stuff. You can just set a specific amount. You can, host on your fleet carrier. You don't you don't need to buy stock because it's always available. And you simply just set what you need to sell on it. But you don't get cash. Instead, each week you just simply get 10 million as a bonus if you sell something, right? I don't know. I much rather want to see fleet carriers be that end game trophy that helps you do maybe a thing or two, right? Of course, there are flaws with that logic as well, and so on and so forth. But everything has such things. And if the thing is, originally, I really don't want fleet carriers. You see, the problem with fleet carriers is actually a multitude, because before fleet carriers, we've never had an opportunity to sell ships to other people, sell modules to other people, to have a mobile... Well, basically, this is a station, right? This is a mobile station that you can put anywhere. And honestly, you can even argue that original intent back in the day from developers was that they would never give players a chance to make their own station. That was too much power. And lo and behold, we have this here. Of course, I don't know this, but it kind of feels a bit much power in a way, even in the form that it is right now. So, I don't know. I mean, if it is there, then fuck it. Give us something positive.
I'm convinced they massively mismarketed these things. I think that the name Fleet Carrier was a big mistake on their part, because I think what they wanted was, hey, do you know a place that you would like a station? You could put a station there if you want.
Yeah.
But the name makes you think it's a ship. It's going to fly around. It's going to go places, and it's not supposed to. It's supposed to sit where you put it and be a pretty little fixture in the system so that you can have your name on something.
I don't know. The thing is, everyone...
Fleet Carrier sounds better than mobile base.
The thing is, with people's psychology, right? Every player's psychology is to have your own thing, your customizable, unique thing in the game. Your little corner that you can, sort of showcase. And obviously, everyone, goes out there and tries to scan planets to have their name on it, and potentially even one day buy a planet, right? And I mean, let's be honest, how many currently present in the voice or chats or whatever, right, would like to have your own planet that you own, right? Probably a lot of you would say, yes, I want that.
I have 3 Earth-like worlds with my name on it, and if they ever do atmospheric landings, I'm going to land on one, I'm going to build a log cabin, and I'm never going to leave.
But you see, that's the thing. We as, players do want that, belonging, or rather having something to belong to us, that possession feeling. And this is one of those cases where developers have said, okay, you want a, station that also moves? Here you go. Because there have been so many people in the past that have said, I want, a person, or my station like Obsidian has, or CJ, hey, thanks for the subscribe there on the Twitch. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you're doing well. And but yeah, again, this is in our nature, just like it is in our nature to want cosmetics. Not all of us, clearly, but a lot of us do want that, right? And that's why cosmetics are so popular in microtransaction, right? Even though I personally do hate it in Elite, and it should, and think that these things shouldn't exist in a paid game, but regardless of that, right? They exist because they are a profitable thing, regardless. And then and so on and so forth. And fleet carriers has that same sort of appeal. You want your own station, your own starport, even systems, and that's why a lot of people also have put such a time and effort into BGS, because they wanted to support specific power for some reason, right? To have that possessive feeling of belonging somewhere, or having that their own creation being part of a bigger picture, or in that big picture. So fleet carriers do appeal to a lot of people because of that, but there should be limits to how much power you give to your players and how much things you are willing to allow players to do, and so on and so forth. And personally, I think fleet carriers have been a massive misstep and only put there as a marketing ploy. The thing is, back in the day in the Frontier Expo, you see, they did announce these things, right? And I've talked to, mentioned every time I talk about fleet carriers that essentially they have put fleet carriers in that, Frontier Expo and didn't really have any information about them back in the day. So, I personally was like, what the fuck are they? How did they look? What's the point of them? Right? And it's literally, it feels like a desperate attempt from developer or marketing segment. I don't know which developer part it was, but they probably came together and thought, okay, what do players would like to, have in the fleet? In Elite Dangerous, right? Players constantly ask to give us a possession of a faction in a game. Okay, let's make squadrons that don't interact with BGS. Okay. The players also want planets to belong to them, or their own stations or something. Okay. Well, we have megaships, right? Existing assets. How about we give that to them? And I think that's how these things were born. Of course, I might be wrong, right? But it kind of makes sense in some way or another, because again, it's predictable that we would like to have something as big as this. It's power creep and whatnot else. But yeah, also it does make for great articles, right? I mean, it is something huge, right? The penis and whatnot else. So there you go. But does it actually fit in Elite's universe? Does it actually make sense from the gameplay perspective? Does it have a place? Has it been designed well? And these questions constantly come up, and it's just makes you question things. Yes.
Have we confirmed yet whether the carriers require an elite rank or not?
No, they do not require any elite rank. They are sold in the normal systems that don't require any permits, so on and so forth. So you don't need to unlock anything. As long as you have cash, you can buy it. So technically, if you have a friend who has, let's say, thousands of billions and whatnot else, right? Something like that. And they also have a fleet carrier. They could technically transfer credits through the commodity market with the method that everyone knows you can do. Transfer 5 billion, and you as a fresh player can immediately get a fleet carrier. Thanks to another fleet carrier. Or someone else's effort in grinding for it. So yeah, it's
before the cash transfer exploit, there was probably no way to afford one without being elite in something. But now, yeah, it's all bets are off.
Oh no! Previously, you could drop cargo, right? You could drop expensive cargo, and that would be straight credit transfer. Well, not necessarily. You had to sell it, so that would be for lower price. But regardless, the point is, you could transfer credits to other players before fleet carriers, but it would be a lot harder because there is a limit of active cargo units you can have in space because they get despawned.
But for a player to get money that way, they would inevitably get trade rank elite if they were going to get $5 billion from selling cargo.
Yeah, probably yes. That's also actually not. Actually, that's a good question. Does it count towards the trade rank if you trade on fleet carriers? I don't think it should affect it because again, that is easy to exploit essentially. Yeah.
That's actually a good question. Could you just?
That is a good question. Probably should go and reset one of my accounts and see whether or not it affects it. Oh god.
Well, it is only the beta server. Why not put the main?
Yeah, I suppose somebody can test it. It's just a lot of fucking around and so on and so forth. But yeah, there's that. So
why
yeah,
is that sentence where he said somebody can test it had the non-spoken word because I'm damn well.
You were roboting hard. Sorry, couldn't understand single thing.
Oh great, bloody.
Yeah, sorry, it's the Discord. But okay, fine. Oh, sorry. Bumped the microphone there. But
am I still roboting?
Probably okay. And I see somebody landing appropriately here. that there is class act level of landing. I approve of this fully.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's only been doing it for 15 minutes.
I noticed it. Yeah. Right. Well, it's been almost 4 hours of the stream, so hopefully you guys enjoyed all the talks and nonsense and shit posting and what else. What I can say is for the end of the fleet carriers, upkeep is still around. It should be removed completely. While the thing is, if you want there to be a responsibility aspect of a fleet carrier in a form of a credit punishment for fucking up or some other way, upkeep is not the way to go. No one wants a feature in a video game that basically removes stuff from your pockets, your progress or whatnot else offline when you're not playing the game. If you fuck up by direct actions of yours, truly, right, or yourself somehow fucking up by doing something stupid, yes, you should be punished if the game warrants it, but not if you're not playing, right? It's disgusting way of doing these things, and again, there are a million ways you can do these things. One could even argue that the 5 billion is already big enough price that it's a punishment enough, let alone the fact that you need to fiddle fuck around with the fleet carrier and constantly micromanage it in order to, make it travel to a place or do something. So really, remove upkeep, and if you need to put in some sort of a responsibility or flip coin or the flip side of the coin aspect of the positives, there needs to be something else. Just really, there needs to be something else. Additionally, the next issue really that needs to be addressed is the stock. I did suggest that how about we don't make any money from selling ships or modules or repairing or fueling others. Instead of that, everything is, basically we have the capacity and we can decide what to put in it. That's it. We can do whatever we want with that capacity, but we don't earn shit from it. And the only thing that we earn shit from is commodity market. And that'd be a positive thing, right? You don't need the stupid stock, you don't need the stupid capacity, or, well, if you need to, then, have some limitations, what else calculated, because, let's be honest, it just takes time to calculate these things and balance, so... yeah. Fleet carriers, basically, in my eyes, are really just a great tool for emerging gameplay, as in... gameplay that players make for each other. great example is fuel rats and hull seals and AXI and so on and so forth, who would use these fleet carriers to station posts for repair, fueling, maybe outfitting, and so on and so forth. But yeah, we don't need a rent feature on emerging gameplay tools. Really don't. Or at least we shouldn't, in my opinion. So, there you go. That is my personal assessment, so yeah. Any word from current voice people? Your last chance to...
I agree. I agree.
Say, I agree fully.
Yeah, that would actually be a nice change.
Would you be okay if they took upkeep away and the damage from jumping, but the fuel costs remain the same?
Again,
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
if you
I'd be cool
activate something, when you do something and, with doing something comes a penalty, yeah, that's actually how in Elite it works, right? You damage your ship by not being careful at flying, well, you pay credits for that. If you jump and do it wrongly or, cook yourself, also get damaged and you need to repair that or explode. In which case, either which one, you pay cash for your mistake. Well, with fleet carriers, because they can't be destroyed, because, whatnot else, yeah, they have different sort of set of principles, but still they can do better than a fucking offline ticking time clock. So, as long as it's something you do actively, because of your actions, yeah. It should, penalize or be
maybe you could
carrying
think of the
something.
cost per jump a tax on using the hyper.
I don't know. It would kind of enrage a lot of, explorers who would constantly jump and so on and so forth, because they already need to mine tritium. Let's be honest.
And Universal
they're already
doesn't
punished enough.
get as much as it would at a station.
So again, it's not our job to basically design the game. We can provide critique, which I do, and if I have any solutions, maybe sometimes I will, offer that solution. But it's up to developers to decide whether or not they want to keep this garbage, and I try to critique as much as I can. So there you go. That's my assessment of fleet carriers as the ending of the stream. So hopefully it is at least somewhat informative, if not convincing, from yours truly. Yeah.
One thing that would be annoying for the fleet carriers is able to trade in the commodities market and get that trade rank increased, and probably getting to Jameson Memorial quicker. It could feel like a pain for other people that have been grinding earlier.
The thing is, with new features that are being added and so on and so forth, oftentimes you can see many different gameplay portions basically being, not deleted, but then potentially nullified, right? Or made redundant, or something. So that often happens, and honestly, it's purely advancement in time. Sure, sometimes it can feel like a betrayal when you for example, you just bought a game for $60 and basically on next weekend you see it on sale. Yeah, it can kind of feel shitty, right? But Elite has been gone for fucking 5 years, right? And having that sort of a freebie here and there, honestly, I don't mind. I really don't mind personally. If a new player can enjoy the game, without as much grind as I had to used to do, it doesn't invalidate my time. I'm happy for the new player, honestly, rather. I'm not gonna shout, back in my day I had to grind this thing, and you should be able to get this shit quicker than I did. No, I see the game, or at least want to see the game, become better and more welcoming for players than just saying that because I had to slog through this fucking shit fest, you have to too. So, yeah.
Well, that person is definitely watching the live.
Oh man.
So, yeah. Anyways, Right. I guess I'll put a pin in this.
Oh, he's
stream for
flashing
today.
you.
Oh God. All right. Big thanks to everyone who watched and supported and all that stuff throughout the stream. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well and all that stuff. Of course, if you want to, and we got a squeak from Twitcher, I guess. Hopefully I got that right. Thank you for subscribing there as well. On the Twitch side, yeah, if you want to engage in, chatting about carriers and other things, of course, do join the Discords and whatnot else. Can't promise to be in voice always and whatnot else, or so on and so forth, but still. Do subscribe on YouTube, follow on the Twitch and whatnot else, and yeah, all that wonderful stuff. There's different wonderful, helpful links down below, Patreon and merch store and whatnot else. So, yeah, check those out. That aside, big thanks to everyone who joined in voice for today. Really appreciate at least a little bit of counterpoints if you had any, or just company, And well, I guess I'll be off for today. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then I don't know. Next couple of days or something.
And then the day after.
Probably.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, Dig.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You finally arrived. Yeah. Any last words on your end?
Who, me?
Yeah. Any opinions?
Who took the cookies at the cookie tree? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
any opinions on what?
You basically disappeared for the most of the thing, so might as well give your opinion. So last thoughts about fleet carriers, if you have any.
Nah, you know what? The fleet carriers kind of is what it is. They is a rich man's toy. If you're rich in the
doesn't matter.
Dangerous.
It's a galaxy, space
in the galaxy, and I think it's a lot better than it was. Which I think that what they was counting on, they was trying to make it horribly astringent, and then people to talk them down, and they can say, "Oh yeah, well we'll do this," and it is good now. I think because you can jump farther, you can take some toys with you. It's never going to be a moneymaker, but I think it's a far better thing than it is, but it's still, you have to play to keep it. And so that's kind of like the little sour end of that thing.
Yeah, I agree with that comment about having them back down and that, because otherwise, why have two betas?
Well, you got to get the console kids on there, which I'm a
the
console kid
peasantry.
too. Hey man, hey! I'm of the console peoples.
Oh,
hell, the Wicker Man.
All right. Right.
Still say, you know what? I'm still holding tight. I will never change my HUD colors until the console folks can change their HUD colors. So I stand strong with my console brethren. Holla.
All right. Fair enough. Right. So yeah, those that don't know, Dig Dad there in the voice is a creator as well. These days more for Star Citizen, but regardless, if you like his amazing voice, he makes content as well. So look him up on YouTube's.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think TheYamiks is an amazing voice. I thought
that was cool.
Right. Anyways, thanks for everyone for joining, and well, I'll see you then next few days probably. I'll try to stream around the same time. Actually, no. This is actually right now is the time when I usually stream or start streaming with that. Anyways, right.
If you ain't subscribed, make sure to subscribe to my good friend TheYamiks, because I love this guy.
And I do love Dig as well. So yeah. Stay safe, guys. Wash hands and all that wonderful stuff. Stay healthy and take care of yourselves. I'll see you then next time.
Yeah.